We're going to start today with a wee bit of the Esvus show, I think. Because simultaneously, alongside the beta battle, you are working your way up to this mining pit, this clearing, whatever it is that they are doing. And as you work your way up there, Renali, having some amount of magic to disguise and to hide herself, explains, I do not have so much that can hide you, but I can create things. I can create distractions. Should the worst happen, I can summon something big, something large to draw attention. It will not help you get discovered, but could help us escape at least.
That would be for the best.
Now, I do not know what is the best approach here. Do you think it is better to look with two eyes, or two sets of eyes, or to only have to try to hide one body? I can stay at a distance, or I can come with you.
I work best scouting alone, and I would rather not put you in any undue danger, so stay back, stay hidden.
I will watch and listen as I can. And if I hear anything, I will help. But I will remain here. Best of luck, Esvus.
Always.
So,
Incredibly suspicious.
what is incredibly suspicious?
Oh, Arcadis was pointing out how you basically baited Jason Bowman with a very suspicious sounding idea, which is why he went, nope, not touching it.
It turns out that he has been developing the Pathfinder role-playing game for, like, I don't know, a literal decade. He's
2 or 3 days.
He's seen every bait that exists. So, Esvus, based on your previous approach, you would have seen, of course, that the majority of the actual activity outside of the pit in the center of the mine was largely centered on the southern end here, where there was both a fairly large fire pit that several Chiruka were congregating around, as well as a decently large group of Chiruka and boggards near some kind of a building to the southeast. Do you want to roll me a stealth check?
Yes. And that's
natural one?
That is a natural one. That's going to be the session reroll. Nothing like welcoming back to
So
coming back.
we show up and just Renali's just by herself, just in a fetal position, just rocking back and forth. They came from
Can't
everywhere.
give you free rerolls today.
That's fine. Okay, that's much better. 25.
So with a 25, you would be able to sneak up relatively close through the trees here, keeping a decent amount of foliage between yourself and the area, but close enough to get a much better view of, whichever really facet of this operation you wanted to look at. So I put you down here on the southern end because that seemed to be where just the most generally notable stuff was. But where exactly around this camp would you be wanting to investigate? Those are certainly where it just seems to be,
Just
there are
burrow into the
Chiruka.
refuse pile. Pop out the other side.
Tall people.
I think I'm going to try to investigate towards the building first to see why there's always so much congregation around there first.
Alrighty. As you work your way up through the trees here to peer out at this, you can see that though there is a decent, there are at least some Chiruka here laying out, at first resting or waiting on these mats out in front of the building. As you get closer, you can tell that the half-dozen figures laying here actually appear to be either injured or very well sick. Most of them are near motionless on these mats, clearly conscious, but a couple sit there holding tender areas, or even one Chiruka near curled up in the fetal position there, while a group of boggards, near 10, 12 of them, stand around overseeing them, a couple making some small efforts to treat them. But there are not nearly as many threats here as it would immediately appear. All of these 6 on the mats are in no form to fight. They would be in no form to put up any resistance. And actually, just for ease of access, you can kind of see on the actual map here the different tokens. All the ones that have that little red flare on the other token are the boggards that are actually up and around and seem to be fully capable. Now, these boggards do look like they are a little bit larger and, at the very least, better kitted than the ones you had seen previously, the ones you dealt with before. Each of them walks around with a large staff, not terribly unlike the one that Dalren used to fight for some time underground, either across their back or out in front of them that they lean on, a simple, smooth wooden pole. But they also bear crossbows hanging down at their sides as well. A group of them, up near the front, are gathered together near the corner of this building, talking amongst themselves. And you don't speak. What do you speak other than common?
Common, Elven, Dwarven.
So you would not be able to understand the content of their words, of course, because at this point you can pretty well identify the Mwangi language. But they appear to be concerned, worried, almost, about something. And occasionally, one of them will gesture or they'll share some glances over towards the mining pit itself as they continue their conversations. They're making no real effort to hide it. I mean, their voices carry clearly enough that you can hear them fine from the foliage here, which is interesting in and of itself.
I thought you were about to say gesturing over towards you. They're like they got looks of concern on
You
their
see
face.
that elf over there?
He's watching
He
us.
seems to be watching us. Should we do something?
He's just standing there menacingly.
He thinks we don't know that we're here.
That one, right there. Do you see him? Yeah, right behind that tree? Should we shoot him?
He seems harmless enough.
He seems
Look at What
harmless.
he's doing.
The other direction. It seems pretty clear that none of them appear to notice your presence as you're here.
He's probably blind like all the other elves.
But you do see, as you wait and watch for some time, a fair amount of boggards and Chiruka both come and go from this fairly large building to their east. They all appear to be well enough, and many of them either head down or into the mining pit itself or come out from the mining pit and head back into that building.
Okay.
As long as you watch, if you're here for even an hour or a couple of hours, the injured, the compromised ones here laying on the mats, they're never taken anywhere, they're never moved, and it barely even seems like really anything is done for them at all. They're largely just left there,
Okay.
almost more guarded than being treated.
Okay. Well, let's see. So I have the fire pit, and there's a pit next to the fire pit. Is it a fire pit or is it like a brazier?
It is a massive fire pit.
Okay.
So if you were to work your way around to the west here, go ahead and make me a perception check as well, Esvus.
Okay.
Oh, Deadly Doll wants you to put the purple one in jail.
Yeah, apparently. 27.
With a 27, just barely, actually. It would not be obvious at all. The creature would be very, very hidden. But as you come around, working your way through, always alert for any kind of patrol or anything coming around, you see through the grass and the undergrowth, about 20-25 feet into the foliage from this large clearing, a strange carpet of what look like small animal bones. Now, this is not uncommon. It's the jungle. Lots of things just, end up with a nest of their food. But it's interesting for a few reasons. One, you don't hear near any sounds of wildlife in the jungle around you. It's as if the forest itself falls almost completely silent within a mile or so of this pit. And secondly, those seem to be interspersed with a bit larger bones. Ones that almost look like they could be human or elven. And looking up above into the canopies, as they start to rise up above this, you can barely make out a shape in a tangled mess of branches and vines. It looks almost natural at first, but a little, almost like a strange, just random pocket of density. Certainly appears to be a nest, and inside is another one of those bat-like creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Who fortunately also does not appear to have noticed you.
Okay. But it is, I could definitely tell it's active as with it being...
It's in its nest right now and doesn't really appear to be moving around a whole lot. You're not sure if it's sleeping or feeding or what it's doing, but it's certainly alive.
Okay. Let me see here. Can I roll a nature check to try and see if it normally feeds at night or if it...
It actually would be society.
Oh, it's
as
society.
it is actually humanoid, not a beast.
Oh, okay. Well, I have nothing for that, so is the pile of bones close by that I can look at it and make a medicine check to kind of determine...
It's underneath this nest, kind of just strewn across about a 10-foot area, just like they were dropped casually out around this trunk.
Okay.
So it will be difficult. It would be very risky, at least, to get much closer.
Okay.
Now, you do only see one of them, but it's not immediately apparent if that is all there is to be seen or all that you just happen to notice.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And the patrols that are staying within the camp are usually just staying to the camp. They're not wandering out into the woods.
Now, you actually don't notice really anything that seems like a patrol. They don't appear to send any armed groups out to scout the perimeters or anything. The only movement you see is largely in two areas. Groups of Chiruka and boggards, largely smaller boggards that don't have much more than just a stick that they have on their belts just in case. Going into the mining pit or coming out of the mining pit. Almost exclusively heading into that southeastern building. But some of them occasionally heading further up to the eastern side of the camp up here, where they are leaving something on a table before heading back down to the pit once more.
Okay.
Now, these groups don't move very often. It's not a constant come and go or anything like that. It would be, as you're watching this throughout the day, the groups would change once every 6 to 8 hours. You'd see any of this movement at all.
Okay.
But it is surprising they appear to put absolutely no effort into patrolling or guarding the perimeters. Not even a little bit.
Okay. I'm going to keep note of that. I'm going to make my way back around towards the building, and I'm going to try to go up around to the northeast.
Okay. As you work your way down around here, up around to this other side building, I assume?
Yes.
This area here?
Mm-hmm.
So when they come out of the pit, that's all the way on the other side, right?
Yes.
So they go all the way around, come to
Yeah,
the
then
table,
they're
and go
coming all the way
back.
up. Yeah, the exit and entrance is on the western side, so they're coming up and then walking around most of the perimeter of the pit.
not plan that
they laid
well.
this out in the least efficient way conceivably possible.
It irks me on an efficiency level.
Look, they're just trying to keep their step count up. They're trying to be fit. Why are you getting on them?
That's why they're eating arsenic.
Gold
So,
standard.
this little wooden hut on the eastern side here is clearly significantly smaller than the other one, and it features a lone door on the western side and actually a window on the south, watching out towards the other building. You don't see anyone come or go from here at any point during the entire day, or you haven't so far as it works into the early afternoon here. But there are occasional wafts of smoke rolling up from the chimney. So either it's occupied or they have built a fire in there for literally no reason are the two options. Or they're burning something, I guess, could also be possible.
Okay.
That wooden table out to the west, whatever they're bringing up here is covered by a fairly large leather just tarp that's draped over it. Whenever they come to put things here, they're putting it up under that and then leaving. So without actually going up to the table, it's not immediately evident what is being done there or what is being brought. But there is a bin visible, wicker woven basket a couple feet across that appears to just be full of random rocks next to that table, bits of excavated stone. As well, and immediately noticeable, is just to the south of that building there is a strange circle. A fairly large circle, almost 20 feet across, that has been inscribed into the ground here, that has actually been dug out. Like, that's not a circle that's painted or drawn on the dirt, it's actually excavated. And the grooves are filled with a dull gray metal. And at each point of the strange star, this sigil inscribed throughout this circle, is what remains of a melted black candle.
Can I make a religion check to see if...
You sure can.
Okay.
Something romantic went on here.
Cinderclaw dating site.
Cinderclaw speed dating. Did we match? No.
No.
Into the mine.
Into the mine. Arsenic gold for you.
20.
With a 20, it does clearly appear to be in some way magical in nature, but you don't really know enough about magic yourself to determine what that could have been used for, or what it could be used for. It's certainly noteworthy and concerning that it exists, but that's about all you got.
Either they're doing their laundry or they're communing with the devil, and don't know for what.
How would you do your laundry with a magic circle?
Create water.
You're
Lots of
so
water.
weird. Like,
It's
that's
also
what you
magic.
come up with?
So where is this door on this building?
The door on the building would actually be on the opposite side. It's over here.
It's over
on
near the front,
western
okay.
half. Yeah, that little brown thing right there is the door, and at the bottom, that is a window.
Okay. I'm going to see if I can time whenever someone comes to put something on the table. If it's not a constant, people walking back and forth.
It's very sparse and sporadic and rare.
I'm gonna wait.
Someone to come to the table.
I'm going to wait for someone to come to the table and then leave, and then I'm going to try to sneak my way in and see if I can peer through the window.
Okay. So you'd be waiting here for some time, of course, for someone to pass, knowing that this movement is going to pretty well expose you to those down below at the southern building and just kind of, hope they're largely occupied, because there really is not any cover between here and the window.
I was going to go... The window's on this side, right, with the door?
The window is on the southern side.
Oh, it's on the southern side.
Yeah, the window is right here.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't realize that. All right. So actually, I'm not going to go to the window. I thought that the window was by the door. I'm going to go up and around, and I'm going to try to go to the door.
Okay. So as you move up, fortunately, it does not appear that there is really any part of the operation that happens up here on the northern end, at least not that you've seen so far. Obviously, there is this giant pile of refuse that is just truly massive, which would be, befitting the giant hole they've dug in the ground here. But no one has brought anything or interacted with that in the day that you've been watching.
Okay.
Couple of Chiruka come up to this table, stashing something under the leather cover, and then head back down to the mines. And as they come up, they are hunched, like bent almost all the way over, like little monkey shrimp, as they walk their way up, clearly visibly exhausted and possibly even unwell. But they place their things wordlessly, and the pair of them heads back around the pit again to the ramp. And it is then that you make your move out. So give me a stealth check, good sir.
Okay. I'm going to hero point it. All right, I'm going to listen to
Safety.
Deadly Doll, and I'm putting a... Whoop, there it goes.
Bye, die.
It
Bye.
runs! It runs!
It flees! Escape!
Yellow. You will carry us to victory.
With a 29.
Yeah, with a 29, using this building as cover, you could very easily get around to the corner. And you're trying to go for the door itself.
Yes.
You make your way around to the doorway. And then what is it that you are trying to do over here?
First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to as quietly as is it a handle? Is it a knob?
It appears to have a standard knob. It's a pretty simple wooden door with a very basic knob that's just latched in. No visible lock or anything on it.
Okay. I'm going to attempt to open the door as quietly as I can. As I'm doing so, I'm going to draw my rapier to hold in one hand and slowly try to open the door and look inside if I can.
Alrighty. And very, very cautiously, goes the swings that way. You nudge this door open, just to get some kind of a look at whatever is inside. And as you do, you grabbeth the olden
Arc and Forge magic.
fog removing device.
EFRD.
FRD. You peer into a
Lovely little
relatively
cabin.
small, kind of surprisingly cozy little cabin. Across from you are a pair of desks, one pushed into the corner and one next to it a little bit askew. And on the opposite side, there is a single bed. A lantern hung on the opposite wall. Lights adds more light to the room from what surprisingly little is coming in from the single window from the sun. And sat at the desk, poring over it, just looking through some papers and holding what appears to be a tiny golden nugget in their clawed fingers, is a single kobold. This kobold, even from the side from behind peering through the door, appears to be quite old. If it's possible for scales to wrinkle, they may have begun to do so. She's got two pretty big white horns set on her head that kind of jut back, but the right one is actually kind of broken off about halfway down. And she's got a crossbow on the floor, just kind of leaned up against the table, with a strange staff next to it, topped with a bird skull, both easily within arm's reach. She has an assortment of alchemical paraphernalia, alembics, retorts, and all kinds of assorted little vials and containers, as well as a set of jeweler's glasses, one of which she's got up to her eyes. She's peering very intently down at this golden chunk about the size of a thumb. The kobold does appear to be the only person in here and seems to be quite involved in what they're doing. And
It appears to be gold.
Identifying wood. Yep, it's wood. Do they appear injured in any fashion? Like we're haggard, like the other.
Other than, their age, the kobold actually appears to be in perfectly good health.
Okay.
The horn doesn't look like a new break.
No, it looks like something that must certainly have happened quite a long time ago, and has just been left as a stump that's long since healed over.
Okay. I'm going to creep my way in, try to push the door with my back. Rapier still at the ready, and I'm going to
Sneak up on an old lady?
I'm gonna sneak up on an old lady.
Oh, you're horrible.
No fear. As you work,
Give me all your money or I'll rapier you in the back.
you work your way in, and you quietly.
That was wrong.
That line gave me more anxiety than this entire scene right there.
quietly close the door behind you. And as it latches in the near silence here, the kobold kind of starts seeming to notice, dropping the jeweler's glass and the gold on the table, and then turning to face Esvus, like almost just amazed. And she looks at you, just completely with almost no idea how to react. What?
Buy some cookies?
I'm gonna try and scan her for any symbols of Dahak or any of those Cinderclaw badges.
She does not appear to immediately have on her any visible sign, any badges or anything. But she looks you over. This first kind of guttural surprise. He composes himself for a second, and then just says out in something in Mwangi. It seems quite demanding. He does not notably immediately reach for any weapons or anything.
I'm going to... Let's see. I'm going to take an attempt here, and I'm going to see if she speaks Taldane. I'm gonna have my hand on my rapier prepared, not in a threatening manner. Like, I'm not trying to intimidate her, like, I'll kill you, but I'm definitely ready to spring into action if necessary.
Right.
But I'm going to... Taldane? Just very quietly.
And as she looks over at you. Yes?
Are you helping them, or are you a prisoner?
And she just kind of slowly looks over towards the table. Her hand's kind of in front of her, but sort of towards the staff and the crossbow. I call one word. Entirety of Cinderclaw comes. Why are you here? Who are you?
Sorry, out of character, random thought. Who are you? What are you doing here? You okay?
He's gonna have an actual heart attack over here.
Keep going.
I can, whenever she asks that, I can either be a memory, or I can be the last thing you see. If you are helping them, I want to know why. If you're a prisoner, I can take you from here.
Give me. You want to roll me either a diplomacy or an intimidate? I will leave a dealer's choice to you as to which of these it is that you are attempting.
I'm gonna attempt a diplomacy. I'm gonna attempt
Draw
a
from
diplomacy.
your inner elven diplomacy.
Because
You have a minute to discuss my lord and savior, Pharasma.
I'm a dealer of death. I don't have conversations.
look, I've got this free book.
This is gonna be so bad. I'm gonna hero point it.
Not a good day for your dice so far, but it's a good day for you having a stash of hero points, I suppose.
This is very true.
I believe.
18.
It hit 20 and then rolled back.
Aww.
That's still not bad.
No, it's not bad. It's
Pharasma's wit.
it's a 22.
A 22. He kind of looks at you. And to the staff she has leaning against the table, like her eyes kind of flick a bit. I am here to serve Zurich. You are not, I sense. You should leave before things turn bad for you.
Sorry, I'm thinking. I'm gonna look at the table and the alchemical mixtures, and then look back at her. She's older, healthy, and seems capable, combat capable, potentially.
Combat.
I wouldn't know.
Give me what's your society? Because I can give you. I mean, you
could
got
wrestle
plenty.
her.
You got plenty of time to recall knowledge, and it's a secret. But you can. What's your society modifier?
+4.
Because she is very much a humanoid. You really are not the greatest judge of kobolds.
Well, the only ones I've had dealings are Zerg and Sniggles.
She certainly carries herself. She seems a lot like this is a far cry from Zerk and Sniggles, certainly. everything that she has here, all these alchemical setups, if she's the one using them, she's clearly at least somewhat knowledgeable. You have no idea what that staff is for, how capable she is with the crossbow, but if she made all of this, if she can use all of this, she's at least pretty alchemically skilled. Whether that translates to her being able to use it in a fight, unclear.
Can you punch an old lady?
Oh. It fell over.
Bye.
I don't think I can get it to stand up. There's not a hard enough corner here for me to stand it up.
That's quitter talk.
She's also very small. She is a kobold.
Wait, there's a marker over here. I can stand her on top of it.
It's okay. She's still looking at you. She hasn't made any immediate motions, but you're thinking. Go!
I'm gonna rush her.
Okay.
Go. All right.
When she says go, I'm in one fluid motion rushing for her.
Yeah, you,
That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
You go. Go is the thing that is happening here. So, this is,
It's just gonna be Renali. That's all we're gonna find.
just,
Renali and some bones.
Renali comes back by herself here. I thought, something happened? Help! Roll me some initiative, comrade.
$37.
That's pretty good.
54.
I'm sorry.
I was mistaken.
I'm so sorry.
I should go.
Here, GM, here's my character sheet.
I'm going to get a 23.
Whew.
So,
She rolled a 1.
Probably one. It's okay. At least.
Esvus, as you move on her, what are you doing?
I'm going to hunt prey first. I'm going to... Thank you.
Kobold.
Oh, you little kobold. He's a little kobold. I even showed you little kobold.
You're murdering a small child.
You don't know I'm going to murder her. Stop. It's a red
Don't you
base.
put that evil on me.
It's a red base.
That kobold could pick Esvus up and like smash him against the floor. We don't know.
Yeah, that's probably what's about to happen too.
I love all I have to do is put a colored face on a token and end in
I know.
fear.
I am
Everyone's
fear. I am fear.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna rush her. I'm gonna hunt prey, and I'm gonna
Run up and pet her ears. Just calm down. Calm down. Rub belly rubs. That's how you put alligators to sleep.
All
Belly
right.
rubs.
Run forward, fake out, dive through the window.
Actually, I'm going to grab her. I'm gonna attempt to scoop her up, put my arm over her mouth so she can't scream, but I'm going to attempt to grab her.
So much judgment right now.
Yeah.
What?
No,
I can't be
like
friends
it.
with
Go
you
with it. Go with it. I like it. I like this character. I like it.
Brendan's gonna have a stroke in
No
the
fear
corner.
over here. I believe in you, Esvus.
Or it might be better to try and knock her unconscious.
Are you
Yeah.
grabbing? What are you doing?
Yeah,
6 seconds. This is
don't-
your
Alright,
lunge
I'm using.
forward.
Here,
I
don't
lunge
let us
forward,
interfere.
rapier in hand. I'm using the rapier. I'm gonna try to let's dissuade her from calling out for help.
Give him a stab.
Give her a stab.
Poke her until she is quiet.
Yep, that's a 25.
With a 25,
Initials. Yeah, that makes sense.
as you rush her, and she kind of turns a bit in her chair. Now, she doesn't seem to have much for armor on. She's just got some like leather cladding, not much more than any other Cinderclaws have had. But given her apparent old age, she reacts in a flash, just actually barely able to twist away from that blade as it punches through the side of her armor. 25 is gonna miss.
Okay,
That's 3.
that's 3.
Hunt prey. Move.
Oh, hunt prey. I
Move,
forgot about
strike.
hunt
Yeah,
prey.
because she was 2 squares away. Otherwise, I'd have stepped and poked and then poked again.
I forgot hunt prey was an action because I was thinking you had your rapier in your hand already. So
Look at
As
this
she-
lonely initiative table.
yeah, as she moves and moving away from that, the chair kind of falling over behind her, she reaches out and grabs the staff on the ground, leaning against the table, grabs it and turns it towards you, and a gout of fire erupts out from the end of it. As she starts just screaming at the top of her lungs, "Alarm! Alarm!" And this wave of fire is going to be a reflex save.
Okay.
He's good at that.
I'm at least good at that most of the time. That's a hero point.
Consistency is key.
Esvus
of
responds
the
by throwing
time.
coins in the face.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Natural 20.
All right, solid. So
Worth.
that's going to do nothing. What do you do? Like, what a...
Shoo.
I just, like, she points, I'm going to attempt, how does disarm work?
Not well.
No, you have to critically succeed to do the thing that you're thinking of doing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
because a regular success gives them a -2 to anything with the attack trait
Until
until
their
the
turn.
start of their turn. So it actually only applies to like AOs and stuff.
Okay.
You have to critically succeed to actually get something away from somebody. But
Okay.
she picks it up, and I mean, you're right up here, up point blank with her here. You can literally duck under the staff entirely, and this gout of flame just sears the other opposite corner of the.
That's exactly what I'll
Alright.
just completely duck down underneath the flame, almost going flat, and then just lunging back up, and I'm gonna take 3 swings at her.
I guess I don't really think we just leave these here. Honestly, we're just going back and forth.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so first attack.
I believe in the dice.
I'm hoping to 35.
35 is definitely going to connect.
I need these.
I keep in a nice little orderly pile for just grabbing purposes.
Right, I appreciate it very much. So that'll be 12 points of magical piercing damage just in and out of a shoulder.
All right.
Second attack.
You okay, Ben?
Do I look okay?
You're more stressed than he is.
I'm gonna last hero point that roll. I'm empty now. I'm kind of going for broke here.
Or you're
better.
just going broke.
I'm going broke. Yeah, that's better at least.
If anybody wanted to help out, now's the time.
26.
A 26, she will just barely be able to stop from doing any meaningful damage to her, just catching some scales.
Scales, yeah. All right, third attack.
Arcadis got your back.
Yeah, no one's allowed to be on empty. Arcadis giving you the instant refund there.
Thank you, Arcadis.
Fishing for 20s.
And also, those last points were from Deadly Doll, Kyrie JCB, and P Fred Zero. All right, so last attack. Come
Yep.
on.
Really?
Yep.
A third attack? You're throwing? Okay.
I've been rolling nothing. I've rolled less than
Here.
5 on every single die roll
Believe in the dice.
until I re-roll.
Believe. The rerolls have been turning it around for you pretty well, though.
That's true.
Admittedly, you're getting your hero point value.
I mean, that arguably went significantly up.
It did. It's a 25, so I miss.
25 again as you're continuing this assault here. She's going to be able to dip away from. And she is going to reach out onto the table. The staff's kind of above you. Reaches out with her other hand and grabs 2 bottles of something and smashes them down across the floor together. And as she does, they don't explode. She's not just blowing up her own feet here. But they do immediately react in a violent surge of smoke that completely fills your vision and absolutely obscures your ability to really see anything. And the sound of this rushing smoke billowing up over you also masks whatever noise she might be making at the moment. What is your perception DC?
26.
Okay.
Deadly Doll also gave him another hero point.
Getting the back up here.
Thank you, Deadly Doll.
Back to 1.
Back
I
to
am
1.
going so broke.
I'm pulling a doll Ren.
This is literally like those
haven't
like
raged
those
yet.
like fundraiser telethons where like, oh, I gotta set another puppy on fire if you don't donate.
And I'm going to need you.
Vincente's got it right.
I need you to make me a fortitude save, good sir, as you inhale whatever this is. I have a poof. Arkenford has got transparent poofs. Look how cool that
Ooh,
is.
it's all poofy.
Transport poops?
Transparent poofs.
Yes.
I mean, it could
Yes,
also have a
poofs, that's right.
transparent.
33.
33 will succeed, but still this smoke is kind of vile, and it's very much thick, and you are going to be sickened 1.
Okay.
Also another hero point.
Also, another hero point here from
Follow
Jasper. Come on, Esvus! You got this. Never has one man been so directly pumped by Chad influence.
I don't think anyone thinks you've got this. I think they're all saying, "Run, you idiot, run!"
Fly!
Thank you,
Fly, you
Shazper.
fool.
Thank you, Shazper. All right, that's her turn.
That's her turn, yeah. You're kind of blind in this smoke and coughing a bit.
I'm going to.
You can still hear her voice yell out once more, "You fools! To me!"
I'm going to. Can I attempt a thievery check to scoop as much papers from her desk as I can?
I don't even think you need a thievery check. Just as an action, you can reach out and just grab out whatever there is available.
I'm
and-
grabbing just whatever I can grab in an armful off of her desk.
Yeah, your glass falling over and clinking, but it doesn't matter because you're looking for the writing. You're looking for what she has.
You'll never make your quarterly reports now.
So I'm gonna snatch all of that. And I'm going to. And I'm gone. I'm making a break.
Towards the door.
I kind of almost want to Leon Kennedy through the window.
What are you going for? It's your snap decision here.
Yep, I'm gonna
points.
Leon Kennedy through the window. I'm just
So-
gonna immediately dart for the window, arms crossed.
As you rush towards the window through the smoke, you can see that she has already retreated for the door and pulling it open and is calling out to the greater mind now. And as you rush towards the window, give me an athletics check. Because it's not just like a flat plane of grass. It's got like a wooden crossbeam in it that you're going to have
Smash
to
them
pull through
bullions.
here.
That is a 20.
20 will do it.
Woo!
So, with your third action, you crash out through this window.
Infiltration successful.
Kind of.
Stealth! And you can see down below a couple of the boggards just kind of looking over like nobody is mustering particularly. There's not an army descending, weapons aren't being marshaled, battle lines aren't being formed. The boggards are just like,
She got drunk again and is yelling.
what are you yelling about? Like,
Crazy old lady.
and she comes out and sees the boggards just looking at her confused. She punches it like this, kind of smacks her brow a bit, and then starts yelling something in Mwangi instead of
She was failing in Taldane this whole time.
Just talk louder.
she starts calling something repeatedly in Mwangi, a simple word, and then they see you smash through the window, and the boggards are like, "Oh!" And the two nearest on the north end here.
Confused ribbon.
One of them was just kind of leaning up to the building, and the other was just sort of over there, sitting on the ground. They still don't rush towards you. Their first reaction is they look back to their friends, like,
Are you
They're
seeing
not-
this?
The reaction time is not fast here. The alarm drills have not been run sufficiently, clearly. But the kobold is going to run out further, getting some kind of distance around towards the mining pit, and looks down towards the operation and yells again in Mwangi, and then turns and sees you smashing through the window, and reaches for a couple various little vials and cobbles something together very quickly, and with both hands, just in an overhead, tosses it your direction.
Okay.
He's
And
got -2.
yeah, this little blob here is actually a reflex save.
Okay.
As the little clay container she mixes it into hits, and this one does erupt in an explosion, blasting a couple feet in front of you.
36.
A 36 will just critically succeed. Esvus doing Esvus stuff. Now, as we come back to you, you hear a shrill cry in the distance from the opposite side of the camp, the northwestern corner. It doesn't sound like a boggart or a truk or a kolb or anything. It just sounds like an almost avian screech.
This changes nothing about the plan.
Yeah, this changes nothing about the plan. Can I quickly recall knowledge to see if I can identify that screech with nature?
I mean, with just hearing the sound, it sounds like a fairly large bird of some kind. Doesn't sound like the Quetzalcoatlus that you've encountered previously.
All right, I'm gone. All actions.
And
just straight to the wood line.
that you just take off,
Just a handful of paper.
Yeah.
Pretty
bolting
much.
out as you can, carrying this load with you. And
Bunch of TPS reports.
I
good
don't-
luck filing your taxes, idiot.
No, she's writing a romance novel, and you just took her last 3 chapters.
And as you run, you get a couple dozen feet out into the tree line here, before you see Renali just kind of rushing over from the south, and she quickly, seeing you running for what definitely appears to be your entire life here, puts her hands together without question. Anime viventis! And conjures up a massive cat, a leopard between the trees that surges out towards the camp, as she just changes her angle to follow along with you out of the tree line here.
Okay.
Make me a stealth check.
Okay. If it helps, I also, as a ranger of this level, I have trackless step, so I leave
Ooh.
no steps behind.
That will definitely help you.
Okay.
No stones are turned.
Yep. 26.
He has
So
plenty of villain points. Don't worry about it.
with a 26, as you're running out into trees here, you don't even immediately hear anything following you. Like the scant sounds of the camp and the kobold screaming in the distance fall behind you pretty quickly. And as you run, putting at least a good quarter mile behind you before you probably can consider starting to slow down and trying to find somewhere to hide and shake them off. Still, you hear absolutely no signs of pursuit whatsoever. If they are following you, they are doing it very slowly. And even if they are, after a minute or two of waiting there, you have heard nothing to imply that they really are anywhere near actually tracking you down. And as you rest for a moment, Renali mentioned you quickly in a low voice. What happened? Did they find you?
I checked. One of the buildings was occupied by a kobold.
You went into a building.
I went into one of the buildings.
I thought you were just going to look.
I did both. This tells us a lot of information. Let's see if I got anything worthwhile. And
Smacked an old lady.
I stabbed her.
I roughed up an old woman and took her manuscript.
I took your sewing books. And I'll pull the papers and try to see if there's anything I can discern whatsoever.
Kind of looking through, Renali looks down. Corrected. Fair enough, I suppose. Looking down through, it looks like it is a whole lot of alchemical notation. A lot of it is various reactions and chemical bonds and diagrams and things that she has been using to things I assume. What's your crafting proficiency?
Non-existent.
It means absolutely nothing.
You see formulas.
That's formulas and
Pretty.
like
You got her
very
cookbooks.
angular, like hexagonal kind of diagrams, but none of it immediately means much of anything. As you flip through, looking through more of it, there appears to be a log tallying quantities of gold by weight. That seems to be sorted out by a day-by-day record. And, I mean, they're not turning up an incredible amount. In most days, they're turning up between nothing and an ounce or two, as it is a gold mine. It's... If you could just go down there and just whack out Minecraft amount of gold immediately, gold would not be worth very much. But the operation does appear to only go back about a week and a half, 2 weeks, as far as the records are. And in that time, they've gotten a fair few ounces of gold, almost a full pound of it they seem to have excavated, which is kind of an impressive amount for how little they've been here.
Wow, we've been in Mwangi longer than this operation has been in existence.
Probably started digging a couple days after we got here.
Probably.
Not long after you arrived, it seems. In addition, there is a bit of correspondence letters that seem to have been received from somewhere. You have no earthly idea if there's any concept of mail the Cinderclaws could have gotten, so it seems likely they would have had to have been hand-delivered by some sort of a courier who'd come all the way down here into the jungle. But it appears to be an exchange of information. You learn where the gold is going, at least to some extent. The Cinderclaws don't care about it at all. They are harvesting it exclusively to send it off to whoever it is that they have gotten these missives from. They were not kind enough to sign them. P.S. Bad McEvilton of the Aspis Consortium. You can find me at 312 Woodgrove Lane in Casimir if you need any further context. There's no information about who exactly it is. But they mentioned the way it talks about the gold, the way that they discuss it. They don't seem to be interested in the gold for traditional reasons, for wealth or riches. And they're very specific that they only want the gold from this region, from this mine specifically, from this small area of the Wonky Expanse. And that this kobold is responsible for testing it all and ensuring it meets their standards. Which does not in any way actually mention the arsenic content either, so it's not about poisoned gold. That said, what the Cinderclaws have received in return is something referred to as the Nul Akrumi Vazgul ritual. The information of this ritual appears to have been delivered to them around the time that they started the greater operations here in this mining pit. And the specifics, again, of this are fairly unclear. You do get one name out of this, however. Narset. Narset is mentioned as the one who is interested in and the one who would possibly be capable of conducting this ritual. And the last of the letters, the one that arrived about when they started this bigger mine, mentions that if Narset wishes to bring life back into an ancient fossil, we can provide the tools. This ritual is her beginning. There's more where this came from if the draconic gold continues to flow.
Oh, I'm livid now that bringing the dead back.
The details of the ritual are not any part of this.
Right.
But it does certainly sound like it is some kind of raising the dead necromancy, for sure. As you're kind of looking over this here, a mile or two out from the camp, and having skewed at least a few times to change your direction, not made it all the way down to the creek, but had just struck off, winging around to the north almost at random to throw him. Renali's kind of looking over your shoulder as you're flipping through this, clearly interested in these letters.
I'm not hiding it from her at all.
Yeah,
so.
I would assume you're not. I do not so much read Tolden. This is not Mongi, though.
No, it is not. It seems the Cinderclaw cult have benefactors. Someone by the name of Narset. And the kobold said that she served someone by the name of Zurich.
I do not know either of these names. I am sorry, but neither of these are familiar to me. Narset seems Mongi. That could be someone local, but Zurich is... It sounds strange and foreign. As could be who wrote these, maybe.
What about the name of this ritual? Does it strike anything for you?
She kind of looks at it. I do not recognize it at all.
That's fine.
that null. She's like trying to sound it out letter by letter. Null akrumai vazgehul.
Latu.
Oh, is it sad that I actually only know that from Borderlands?
You are
Oh,
sad.
really?
Yeah, but
That's very sad.
I understand that it is a reference, but I know it because Gage yells it in Borderlands when she summons her mech, not because of the original source.
You
Fair
are
enough.
millennial.
We'll watch it one of these days.
So at that point, I'll wrap everything back up and look up at Renali. Are you injured at all?
No, I was far out. I thought this would be. I thought this was simpler scouting. I heard a shriek of some kind. It sounded like a bird,
So did I. I didn't recognize it.
and what sounded like yelling, but it was small and distant. It sounded was concerning, and I had heard nothing for hours, so I came. Do not worry about that cat. It is not real.
Thank you. I think that we've learned quite a bit, and since I've decided to stir up the hive, they might try to be better bolstered. Maybe.
Well, that is the plan of our scouting in the first place, was it not? Do not give them time to prepare.
Yes.
If, well, the rest of our friends are finding success, then the last totem should be gone by the time we meet them. At least the last we know of. Well, besides the one in the mine, of course.
They'll be fine. I trust them.
Switch over to the beta conversation, which is happening simultaneously.
Meanwhile, in the distance, we're discussing the mechanics of shrink item and eating a pita, but they're doing fine.
Let's...
We should go. They should meet with us in the morning soon. We must cross the river. That would make it impossible for the Cinderclaws to follow, at least, though. Are they even trying?
They can't find me.
They could not find you, but they could find me, perhaps. Though, this is why we came, I suppose. Are you hurt? You seem...
I just feel a little under the weather. The kobold, she makes alchemy. I think I breathed in something wrong.
like potions.
Yes. Only these hurt.
Well, I can take a look at you if you are injured, but you look untouched. There are... And she just kind of motions down to your forearms. The tiny scratches, but... What did they have fight you? Tiny cats?
Worse. Windows.
I dove through a window.
Did not even know they had windows. That is fair.
That was their entire stock of glass, by the
The
way.
one window the entire Cinderclaw called has.
it! We put up a window!
I hate windows!
Windows are dumb!
And Blade Tiger. I think a second
You don't see that. It's not there.
villain pine for the pool here. I like that you guys are instantly calling any hero points, but
Yep.
absolutely
Nope.
nothing.
Nope.
That's
No,
on. That's
no.
on you. That's a you point.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well,
Gotta fight for your life there.
Yeah. Meanwhile, back at the cottage.
I have two now. So the two of you make your way back down across the river, and all but ensuring that at this point the Cinderclaws would have absolutely no chance whatsoever to follow you. And down to where you would be meeting with the rest of the party the following morning. Now, meanwhile, Abita has been slain. Much loot has been amassed. As it turns out, this dragon did in fact have a horde.
Yes, it did.
And
So much copper.
in what has largely been a spectacular windfall for the Hob Company.
We're now actually
I had to
incorporated.
think. I was like,
Adventuring
I
in the
know-
country with no money.
Kill a dragon, forehead.
Yeah.
Hey, works
they
out
literally
great.
live in huge
Amazing.
piles of golden value.
Now we have
And,
a bag of golding.
And just to double check, I do believe that we did go over everything that you'd found in that horde and everything. We'd fully wrapped up the beat
Yeah, yeah.
situation, correct?
Yeah, we were about to leave.
Actually, hang on. 'Cause I seem to remember it's like,
Yeah,
hey,
'cause
there's
you
some other stuff, but I'll tell you
You
about them
definitely
later.
identified the 3 items. You know about the second pair healer's gloves, you know about the lightning
Yeah.
rod, and you know about the spine shield. You have all of those.
And we have all the money.
You have the pile of money, and you have the 2 gemstones that
Yeah.
come out of the totem's eye, and yeah.
And we've got the poison gold, which we have safe in our sack.
Yeah, so with all of that, then we have certainly covered. We had finished up with that.
Yep.
Right.
So the group of you would be heading to make camp for the evening. So I think we might even have done that.
No, we did. I
the
rolled a
survival
20.
roll and everything. Right. We the critical success. So all that's left then is for Renali to attempt to put camp together with Esvus. If you wish to roll survival to assist her, you are more than welcome.
Yes, I will assist.
But she is going to knock that one out of the freaking park.
And I assist with a 20.
Okay, so then both groups of you will easily be able to put together a very well camouflaged camp. And then the following morning, the question mark is, did I actually mark this one off on the log? Unsure. The mayor just skipped a day. Who's even keeping track of time anymore?
Tempest Fugia.
The following morning,
Is there a god of dates?
Yeah, that's the
calendars.
god of love.
I'm pretty sure that the god of money would care about calendars.
it's probably Amadar, realistically. Yeah, that would
Yeah.
make sense. So, the following morning, the 4 of you and the 5 of you with Valia pack up your camp to head out, and after an hour of preparation, maybe an hour or 2 of trekking through the jungle, would meet back up with Esvus and Renali. The party reunited. Yeah, you could clear that anytime.
Okay.
You can clear that as an action even too,
Okay.
because you can do the retching. So
Comes
you,
out the other end.
you could certainly have
Stop
gotten
it.
your sick and condition stuff.
I already had that once. I don't need it again.
Just to insult her farther, you could have just vomited on the table and left.
Jump out the window, turn around, vomit back through the window, and then leave. So as you all reconvene, this group shares their success story of not only crushing a totem, but finding literally thousands of gold
And
a
2
Thousands
tiny
of
parts of a snake.
coins.
thousands of coins.
And let's be clear.
thousands of coins.
And we
It's a
have
pretty good amount of gold. It's
It
like-
was. It
it's
was a good
like
amount of gold.
500-ish.
Yeah.
It's over 500 gold.
It is over
it's still a good
500.
amount of gold.
Yeah, actually, it's over 600 if you convert the copper. But
Ed showing Esvus your bag of holding, which is completely and utterly filled to the brim with just coins.
we put the potions on top so we can get at them.
Did a
Some
couple
food
of
over
potions
here.
nested in a giant bed of money, and all of the rations and daily food stocks now have to be carried probably by Buford, realistically, Buford and Dalrin,
Yeah, we
as you could, because you have filled an entire. I've never seen this happen. I've never seen somebody fill a bag of holding like this. It's a masterpiece, honestly. We should all be proud of ourselves and take a moment to reflect on the achievement that we have had here today.
I've always known I could do it.
We filled a bag of holding with straight money.
Give me a minute.
It's so beautiful.
And Esvus could in turn share what he had seen about the Cinderclaw mine.
As I'm doing so, I'll first roll up and hand over to Dalren. They have an alchemist.
Ah, an alchemist. Excellent. And they have notes.
A dangerous and capable one. A kobold.
Oh, goodness gracious.
And,
Organic chemistry.
Valia, looking at this, I'm admittedly surprised that they have anyone so capable, and rather surprised at that it's a kobold, you're sure?
I'm certain.
When did you meet them?
I snuck in and met her face to face.
You snuck in.
Say what now?
Wasn't the whole point of this to not be detected?
Well, if he snuck in, she probably didn't see her.
An alarm was raised. However, they were very slow to react, and they could not find me.
Yeah, they probably didn't see him at all.
Okay.
I'm not too worried about it. He's real good at sneaking. He'd never get caught.
2 names came across because what the gold that they're gathering is not for their own use, and it's also not for offering up to Dahak.
Draconic gold?
Yes.
Never heard of such a thing.
For this ritual, they attempt to revive the dead.
What?
Ritual.
Revive the dead?
Well, they said bring life to an old fossil. I can only assume it's necromancy.
Sounds right to me. Oh, so alchemical gold. While you snuck into a building, did you manage to get any of it?
I did not. I took the papers instead.
I see.
Good move.
No, I'm sure they'll still be mining it. It'd be interesting to see. Is there anything in the notes that specify like what the standards that they're looking for are, or like what tests are that they have to?
Not
Do-
much of what he would have grabbed, no.
How about that?
There
Rich?
is note they are making sure that the arsenic content is not so high that it would be dangerous to those transporting it. That seems to be the majority of the testing that's recorded.
But it's just kind of like just get the arsenic to a level where it's just like,
Yeah, please make sure it's not
not
going to kill us when we
toxic.
touch it. Yeah.
okay.
But they do have a benefactor, someone that they're sending this money to, someone by the name of Narset who can do this ritual. And they seem to be serving. The kobold said she was serving someone named Zurich or Zurich.
So this ritual sounds awfully necromantic.
It does at that, and it's... We don't imagine this is the entire purpose of the Cinderclaw cult, do we? All of their operations, everything they've done, the erection of these totems and fighting off the Equigite, and doing all of this to resurrect something.
Well, it makes
I mean,
sense.
yeah.
They're
Well,
a
it
cult
does.
of
A cult of
an ancient
Mehawk,
god.
of course, I
Bring
understand,
back
but it's
God.
not like it's not as if a god has a literal corpse that can be resurrected.
Do
I
they not?
wouldn't assume that. There are stranger stories and things that exist.
While I was there was a ritual circle. I couldn't identify it, but maybe I can sketch it as best I can from memory.
Well, was it large enough to fit a dragon god in it?
No, but it can still give us information.
That's fair. I apologize. I just think this, if I may be blunt, this seems absurd, even by the standards we've established for this cult.
Well, if they're these people, this cult seems at least single-minded and dedicated towards a particular goal. I've certainly heard of cults with far less coherent goals in mind, I suppose, than raising a old fossil. It might not even be the fossil of the god itself, but simply a suitable vessel for whatever force they feel. Certainly, we know that the spirit of something dark is sealed within the Ayudara.
And I'll
Well-
admit that my understanding of religions, especially those pertaining to iconic deities, is very well lacking. As little I was taught outside the realms of, well, Abadar and Desna and Arasto.
Well, I mean, Resme the whole time has been saying that someone else is probably behind the whole thing anyways, so it would really line up with what, she was thinking.
It does make sense.
Why is this written in Taldane? That's why I keep getting hung up on.
The kobold also spoke Taldane. Another reason why they were slow to react. When she went to raise the alarm, she was doing so in Taldane.
That's odd, you have to admit. I mean, so far, everyone we've run into in this has been local. But if there is some sort of outside force working here, and it's...
Well, you actually have a good point, because these alchemical notes and whatnot, these are not Mwangi native formulas.
No.
It uses... Can I maybe get an idea about what region of the world this might be in? I'm fairly well traveled that, perhaps, I can at least pin these notes to a specific school or tradition of alchemic study. I could sleep on it if you need me to.
What do you want to use for this?
Well, aside from picking up something like alchemy lore, I do have crafting with alchemical crafting.
Right, and that's what I thought. I thought you did. What is your modifier? What is your
For
proficiency?
crafting?
That's it.
Proficiency is expert, and modifier is plus 14.
Okay, fair enough. You learn.
Also, remember that large building that we saw with a bunch of them gathered around?
Oh, yes, with the mats outside.
It appears to be an infirmary of some kind.
That makes sense.
Imagine the mining operation is hard.
Go ahead and give me a crafting check.
Oh, that's not bad. That's a 30.
With a 30, as all these are looking out, yeah, it doesn't seem to be local, but it also doesn't seem like it hails from terribly far from here. This isn't like classical Halden notation or anything here. It seems more akin to something that would be hailing more to like Osirian or Thuvia or Katapesh, something up in the general northeastern region, like south of the Star Stenels and Absalom.
Okay.
That general cluster.
Okay.
So Mwangi adjacent, but not necessarily Mwangi. That said, chemical notation is pretty standardized itself. It's more the note and knowledge around it that kind of belies a little bit more of its origin or what schools it may have come from.
Can I get an idea of, from the name and what the ritual is called, what the base of the language is? Because I know a lot of languages at this
The base
point.
of what language?
So the name of the ritual, like what language like, what culture is it stemming from based on the language that the ritual
The
is
Nula
called?
Kumi of Asgul.
Yeah.
That is like it's just like incantation.
It's
So
just
that's
it's just like
yeah,
random
that's-
words.
That's a magic ritual title. There's like magic language that they use verbal components
Okay.
or pseudo Latin nonsense. It's that.
Well,
Okay.
So
would we happen to be able to pick up on what the ritual might be based on the name?
I bet it's to infuse a spirit into a giant fossil.
Very
yeah,
likely.
there's really not much more to go on
Maybe
that
if
we
I
haven't already covered. The name itself doesn't really give any.
maybe if I say the first
indication.
3 syllables 3,000 times, something will happen.
It'll really raise it eventually. Takes you 15 hours.
Well, we were not as subtle as we had hoped, perhaps, but this is what we had come here early for, to prepare, so that we could set upon this mine immediately. Certainly, they would have noticed the totem so close by. They seemed to know as we hit them.
Okay.
Also, with the very large bat creatures that ambushed us.
Oh yes, I remember them.
Yes, one of them had a nest near the...
Not the very large ones, the human-sized ones.
Oh, the human-sized ones.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, the
sorry.
vampire one?
The little vampire bat.
Oh, little vampire
My
bat
mistake.
creatures. Okay, sorry, my bad. So the little vampire bat creatures we've dealt with in the past, they had a nest nearby full of bones. I don't know if it's wandering Cinderclaws or if it's anyone that they find.
As I recall, the previous ones didn't bear Cinderclaw badges, correct?
But they did defend a totem.
Ah, good point.
So we should remember whenever we found out that they were turning some of the animals to them, we should be prepared. At least I found these on the east side. I didn't find any on the west. So,
Okay.
and I also
Nest on the southwest.
I'm gonna say I thought you signed on the southwest side.
sorry, swap that.
You're good. I'm
Yeah,
just.
yeah.
West on the west
You were there
side.
scouting for hours, so like this is just like a player saw it for 2 minutes. Esvus saw it for several hours. You would.
It's on the
wouldn't make a mistake.
was on the southwest side, and I didn't see any when I ran to the east.
Any news on that dinosaur to the north?
I didn't check it out.
Okay.
If the Cinderclaws are bringing other creatures of the jungle under their sway, I would not trust it to be helpful.
Good point.
Did you get any sense of how far the river was from the mine when you traveled? You said you would take a measurement, or at least a general idea.
It would be a couple of miles.
Okay.
It's a long way. So it seems then, as far as putting together a bit of a battle plan here, if we can assume that the dinosaur to the north is not friendly, but is locked in a pen, it might be good to at least
Blow up the pen.
No.
Secure the pan.
secure the pen so the dinosaur doesn't get out, eliminate guards around it, and then that way the dinosaur is no longer a threat because it's stuck in the pen.
Actually,
it's
let me
blown up.
while we're thinking about that, let me see those letters again. Valia, do you recognize his handwriting?
And, she looks down at it.
You're from Taldor, you know all Taldor people.
Just kind of gets a glance at you. Oh. Perhaps, actually, as ridiculous as that seems, and stereotypes notwithstanding, is
Resme holds up a hand.
nonsense. Nonsense. No. That make no sense. This doesn't... No. Ridiculous. Here, hold this, please. And, she reaches down to her own pack and opens it up and, pulls out her own bit of... She has a small journal of parchment and, a couple of individual loose leaf pieces, as well as a couple, like a sealer and a small thing of dark wax and several pens, and she ruffles through all of that and then pulls out an envelope and opens it and looks inside. Just kind of turns around and shows it to you. And the handwriting appears to be identical. Like, that certainly seems a bit far-fetched to be a coincidence, but I can't imagine that... Well, it would explain the location, I suppose. Look, that is a Taldan scholar that I have been working with. He's the one who expressed some interest in the Iodara in the first place, and the inner workings. It seems, well, I suppose far-fetched that it would randomly happen to be the same thing, but I suppose it would be sensible if they had some interest in the location, but unless there is some link between poison-laced gold mine and ancient methods of elven transportation, it seems odd for them to focus efforts on a singular region unless there is some other purpose they're after.
I mean, I suppose if what they're looking for is inside the Ayudara, it would make sense to learn about them.
True.
The scholars, Ayudara, are not entirely unheard of. There are plenty of them that are still in use in the Elven Kingdoms today.
But the Hunter's Gate is different.
It's ancient. It's a prototype almost. This entire concept of them requiring a physical interactive key is something that's long fallout. They still require activation, of course. They constantly open windows to another world, but it's usually a passphrase or.
But aside from
Man.
that, this particular Ayudara, prototype as it may be, does indeed have a fairly violent and hostile draconic spirit sealed away inside it.
And they speak of bones, something dead. And it's a third space. It is not impossible that there's something hidden in there.
Well, fantastic then. So it appears that I've been sent down here for the same reason the Cinderclaws exist, which is to investigate something for, I don't know, a shadowy cabal of ancient wizards working somewhere behind the scenes. Whoever it is that's writing these things.
I mean, everyone's done that before. I really wouldn't feel too bad about it. At some point, if you go adventuring, you end up working for the bad guy. You have to figure it out, and then you have to go stab him in the back.
Sarcasm is largely unappreciated, Esme.
Not sarcasm. It happens.
Valia, nevertheless, your information is invaluable. Keep it in mind. Don't kick yourself for it. Right now, we have another problem. We have a hornet's nest that's been stirred, and let's assume the worst as we prepare our battle plan.
Fair enough. So then, let us consider the information you were able to obtain and think about our best approach.
Right.
Out
So,
of curiosity, it's a perception check to see if someone's lying, right?
yeah, it's perception and sense motive now.
Does she look like she was actually surprised by this revelation?
You can only perception. Regardless of whether or not she is lying, but it's the same thing as sense motive
Yeah.
always. You gotta roll it regardless.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just halfling luck. That's a hard one. To a 7, which gives me 23.
23, she seems to be sincere enough. That said, she is tall in nobility. And
Yeah.
you'll be fully aware that lying comes to them like breathing, so. Though
That's
no
just
immediate
a
tells us.
big coincidence.
Like
Yeah,
violence and elven diplomacy.
Yeah, exactly.
And Dalren from Silver Knight, 252018. A hero point for our favorite elf barbarian.
Thank you, Silver Knight.
Our only elf barbarian, but win by default. Still a win.
I'll take it.
So, Valia, right then. So, as far as what Esvus has told us in his adventures yesterday afternoon, it seems like they are not entirely prepared for some kind of an assault. I wouldn't be terribly surprised if the mining operation is wholly detached from whatever else it is they're doing. From what you have recovered, it seems to exist entirely to pay, well, whoever is writing these missives, whoever's sourcing this gold and handing over ancient magic rituals for pittances in the grand scheme of things, who may very well be the same person who has a vested interest in Ulcida's ring. Regardless, if they're not prepared to muster a defense, the sooner we attack, the better. If they were slow to respond tomorrow, things won't have changed by today. They may be slightly more on edge, but they'll be no more prepared. No more organized, anyway.
So, in that case, were you able to notice anything else about their defenses? Any other creatures they may have had hidden in the jungle?
They had nothing hidden in the jungle from where I was scouting around that I could see. Like I said, they had the nest. We can assume that they may have other creatures lying in wait. Booby traps? Probably not. However, since I came face to face with her, that kobold is dangerous. For an old woman, she can move, and she also has...
Kobold. She was a kobold.
She was a kobold.
Did she bear a Cinderclaw badge?
She did not, but she seemed to have their interests in alignment with her own, if for no other reason than to...
There were many of these kobolds, small lizard men, yes?
Yes.
There were many of them with the Cinderclaws when they attacked Hunter's Gate, when they opened it and made their way through to your home.
But as I recall from what you told me before, none of them fought, correct?
No, they simply carried, they worked as slaves.
It may
seemed.
be...
None went through the gate, so
some kind of hostage situation.
She didn't seem very much like a hostage. I asked her if she was a prisoner or if she was helping them. She said she served as Zurich, and she was content enough to try to sick the frogs on me.
And just because she's your enemy doesn't make her their friend.
Working together and being companions are not quite the same.
Well,
No,
the
but
fact that she didn't bear a badge, well, maybe the opportunity will present itself that we may be able to avoid having to face her head on.
I view it as you are the company you keep. I'm in good company. She is not.
Oh, that's
Certainly,
nice.
I'd be skeptical of relying on any Cinderclaws to act as turncoats at this stage. They all seem to be near fanatical.
She had a staff that was able to cast fire, and as I said, she had a very, very proficient use in her alchemy, able to make a concoction within seconds to try and throw at me.
So a wizard
Certainly
as well
sounds-
as an alchemist.
Well, certainly sounds capable, certainly. I'm certainly not arguing the fact that she's capable, only that she may not entirely be part of the cult. It may be possible that if she knows more about this Zurich person, we should try to capture her alive if at all possible. You said she stayed in the building.
Yes.
Perhaps she'll stay there instead of coming out to do battle. It would be dangerous for her to do so.
So I've been thinking about how to shut down the last totem so that at least we don't have to deal with it while we're dealing with everything else.
No, we won't have to. It's in the mind.
That doesn't necessarily mean that it can't do anything. If we have to go into the mine
Levitates out.
to get things, what I'm saying,
Elevators.
what I'm saying is, I would really rather it shut down before we go in there and we do anything.
Buddy, did you have an observation?
Well, I was just thinking we could take advantage of that vampire bite in the southwest corner. If that makes a ruckus and we start trying to take it out first, those 4 that are next to that fire might come out and investigate. We can deal with them in the forest.
I like
Terrible
that.
idea, honestly. And from fighting them previously, they don't seem to be terribly dangerous on their own. If it's detached enough from the main bulk of the forces, we may be able to do this largely piecemeal.
And they do seem to make a lot of noise.
Yes, they do.
I can also go invisible and dispel it that way. I can throw my voice.
You could dispel it while invisible. Yes, actually, that's an excellent idea.
I could even throw my voice so that it doesn't sound like it's coming from where I am.
When we fought the totem that shot out fiery rays, I do recall you being invisible, and I recall it not terribly helping. Was that its bat creatures that were guarding it that found you, or was it the totem itself? I don't recall.
Well, the bats, I think, found me because they could echolocate. I don't think the Cinderclaws can echolocate.
Well, it may be wise if you're able to go in and dismantle the totem with your magic. You could then turn into a flying creature, the bat I saw you turn into before, and that would give you a quick exit before they're able to steal off the ramp, if they even suspected there was
I could
someone
also
there.
dimension door. I mean, I've plenty of ways of getting away.
Excellent, excellent.
In doing this piecemeal to make sure that we're not completely surrounded, the entrance and the exit to the mine is the place I scouted first.
I could also throw a fireball down into the mine once I've shut the totem down.
You could, but you could also save it for the infirmary, which I'm assuming is probably also living quarters.
I
It
don't
also
wanna-
hasn't been historically terribly effective against the Cinderclaws.
This is
There
true.
is that.
I'm
Well,
not
and we
setting an
don't know what-
infirmary on fire.
And there's also those weird flying things next to the totem. I think we should deal with the totem when we get to it. We might want to clear out around first. The people inside the mines probably don't know anything about what's happening outside until
They were
one
very,
or two.
They were very much on death's door when I was
Yeah,
there.
so I feel if we deal with stuff outside, then we get to mine when we get to mine.
It is safer, I feel.
I also don't, and I know this is gonna sound odd, but I don't feel, it doesn't feel right to kill their wounded. I mean, I know there are enemies and whatnot, but go in infirmary and just kill the almost dying, it just doesn't seem right.
It certainly, at the very least, would be a waste of effort, so I can understand that.
Throwing a fireball at the infirmary is definitely not my goals for this raid, for sure.
I'm
That
gonna-
said, though, and no matter how injured, if any of them are capable of magic of their own, or that surges of lava that some of their priests be able to conjure up, it may not matter how wounded they are, they still may be viable combatants.
When you
Discounting them is unwise.
When you scouted the southern side, that building, the infirmary that we assume is the infirmary, how many entrances were you able to find?
From what I can remember, one.
It may be possible to bar the door,
That's true.
and
At
then
least buy us some time, certainly.
with only wounded on the inside, But certainly, however many were in there, we would be able to deal with whatever was outside first.
The ones who were on the cots were injured. The ones that were around the cots were armed and very well prepared, much more so than the normal boggarts that we fought down in Citadel Altarian.
Fair enough.
Certainly at this point, I'm wishing that I had brought my Hellknight field manual with me, but it's a gift been given one time, but I wasn't expecting to be engaging in proper military operations here in the center of the jungle, investigating ancient elf ruins.
I'm afraid I'll have to do in this case. And so I think then we have our I suppose our priorities. Secure the dino pen so it doesn't go and is not released to go cause havoc. The mound of dirt in the northeast corner can be used as cover to move to the other side. At that point, we can engage the vampire bat, draw guards away from the bonfire to secure that.
And if they're gone long enough, more people may trickle over.
It's possible, although I suspect that if guards leave and don't come back, their response won't be to simply send more guards to stand where the other ones were.
Yeah, we'll see.
We should also consider now that they have, well, at least had one cursory attack on them earlier, it's possible they've sent for reinforcements, so the longer we linger, the more likely it is that more will arrive to support them.
Oh, agreed.
Right.
If
What
you
was
want
the cage made out of?
You have the same
like wood.
idea that I did.
Excellent.
if
Don't know how risky it is, but you could simply shape wood the door closed and shape wood the cage door closed.
That
and
was
problem
what I.
is solved.
That is what I was thinking. Yes.
if
Brilliant.
if you want to take the kobold alive, then I'll agree to try my best. Otherwise, the moment she throws something disgusting at Buddy or any of us, I'm killing her.
Why don't we just shape wood her cottage closed?
Because I jumped through a window.
Oh.
Why don't we just shape
broke
wood the
her
window
window?
closed?
Yes, I did.
Well, either way, let's go deal with the
Well, the
vampire
answer
first.
to everything is shape the wood.
All right,
Well-
let's do the cage first. The cage first, and then the vampire, and then we're good to go.
Indeed, and we'll see how active this kobold chooses to be in the defense.
I trust your judgment.
If it becomes necessary,
Yeah, we'll take it as it
then
goes.
we'll handle it.
Very well.
I'll start out being unseen. I'll see how much of it I can do.
Okay.
Indeed, if we can actually seal the dino pen without even drawing any attention, that would be even better.
The rest of you follow my lead. I'll bring us in silent.
Perfect.
Cool.
Okay.
Right, so then the rest of you,
True.
you guys have the rest of the morning and the early afternoon here. Chet, you ruined my moment. You ruined my moment, Chet. I know that. To make your way.
You wanted us to have chat open. This is what happens.
Dang it.
Tell us that stuff.
Dang it, it's okay.
I'm not the one who's supposed to know what the spell
Yeah,
does.
thank you.
To
Thank you.
work your way back over across to the mining pits. And I guess we no longer require additional tokens here.
The solution is just to turn into a tree.
You would
We'll
all be
never
able to
accept
get up
Shape
there
yourself.
relatively early in the afternoon, probably about 2 or 3 p.m., with plenty of hours of daylight left here. And there, before we begin our operations proper against this pit, shapewood does only work on unworked wood. You definitely can't shapewood a cage or a crafted door or anything that's manufactured. It's not instantly overcome any wooden object, the spell.
If the cage has been made out of unworked logs,
If it was literally logs lashed together, you could shapewood it, absolutely.
Okay.
But like doors and planks of a shack, it's not gonna work on those. We're gonna take our midstream break here, chat. And when we return,
I don't get to set anything on fire.
we head into. I don't get to shape wood. The door's shut. I don't get to throw any fireballs. This sucks.
What is the point?
The worst campaign ever.
no, the window's been busted open.
Yeah, I suppose I could go like just fart in your
Fireball
house and
into
leave.
the shed.
Oh, that's dangerous alchemy in there.
We will be back in a
Exactly.
couple of minutes. For anyone who may be relatively new to the show or joining in here, I have also overhauled the midstream break scene the same way that I have the introductory scene. So, you, instead of being treated to largely a still image that just kind of shows a couple of the parties we've had in the past, will, over the course of our 10-minute-ish break time, get to see a very high-level, no details overview of how we got to where we are in the story so far. And when we come back, we are going to go fight a lot of Cinderclaws. We're gonna fight a lot of Cinderclaws. Be right back, everybody.
All right.
as we come back here, you've spent a few hours traveling the couple of miles back up to the edge of the mining encampment. And this time, where previously you had followed a winding trail that worked its way up the outside of this hill, coming up from the creek bed that ended up on the western side of the area. And you walked it before with absolutely no troubles. You didn't even know what it was leading to at the time. It just was working fine. But kind of supporting that, you have seen no sign there's any sort of patrols or anything that are scouting the area. But you're wanting to come to the northern end of this place, which is largely going to involve you hoofing it up a not terribly steep embankment, but just brute forcing your way up this heavily forested hillside to head to your right and wrap counterclockwise around to the northern end of the mining pit. And you would get there about 2, 3 in the afternoon. Plenty of sun left, but not the height of noon. The group of you arriving probably a little bit further back, but this is as far as the map goes, to generally here. And this was this place where you had seen the massive cage containing this dinosaur here. The cage is easily 30 feet in any given direction, and seems to be made entirely of just whole logs that have been lashed together into a massive lattice to contain a wildly oversized creature, who at the moment is kind of just laying down on the ground, much like he was when you peeked through the area previously. Almost curled up like a cat, but with a very long neck, so his head wrapping all the way around to where his tail is, and his tail wrapping all the way back around the head, sort of hugging himself as he rests on his own tail, looking out over the mine. Again, as you approach, the sounds of the jungle largely fall away, save for the winds in the trees. Even the sounds of the errant insects seem to stop largely entirely, a strange, small relief that you find here as you approach the Cinderclaw fortification. At least we're free from the mosquitoes. It seems even the ants dare not tread this close to the mine. But as you approach, what are we doing, party?
So I was planning on, now that we see the cage, does it look unworked enough for me to be able to use Shapewood on it?
Realistically, as funny as it was going to be if you to cast Shapewood on a door to realize it doesn't work, if you know enough about the spell to be capable of casting it, and you're a preparation caster, so you have to ready, you would have certainly known that wouldn't work. But this does look like it is raw logs. They're lashed together, but the wood itself is entirely unworked. That said, the cage is massive. So while you could certainly use your magic to seal the door of it, which is on the southern side facing the mining pit, you would certainly not be able to turn the entire cage into a solid box.
Right.
But with 2 applications of Shapewood, I could definitely probably seal the door.
Well, we could probably do it
You
with
can seal the
one.
door with one. I mean,
Okay.
there's only if one side of the door is sealed, the door's not moving.
Okay. All right.
Hinges over here, a closed, sealed, welded gap of wood on wood over
And
here. The door's not open.
The hinges largely just seem to be that the entire southern face of this cage can swing out entirely. The western side of it is lashed relatively loosely to a pole so that it can swivel, and the eastern side of it isn't bound entirely together. There is 2 different vertical logs, one supporting the eastern side of the cage and one just supporting the northern bars that are held together by a couple of twists of wire.
Which could be undone relatively easily.
Relatively easily.
Not if it's welded.
Not if it's not one log.
You'll be very exposed since it's on the southern half. You may want to cast invisibility to shield yourself.
I was also going to throw my voice so that if they did come and hear me, it would be from another direction.
It's possible, although I think you'll be safe well enough. If it will cost resources to do that, there doesn't seem to be anyone on this side.
All right. See you guys on the other side, I suppose. And she'll disappear.
With that quick incantation and your invisibility you've used several times before now, I assume you are going to head out here alone and completely unseen, as both the party and the resting dinosaur beast thing are clearly entirely unaware of your presence.
Okay.
The dinosaur does not appear to be able to see through invisibility.
That's good.
I would be concerned.
I'm concerned for a huge variety of reasons, honestly. Like, I'm not even sure where the concerns would necessarily begin. But as you approach up to the door, getting close to where the logs connect, where it would swing open, you do see it kind of raise its nose up in the air a bit and turn its head over towards you.
I'm gonna cast Negate Aroma.
Ooh, that's a spell that exists?
Yeah. It's a spell that I take almost any time I know I'm gonna go invisible because I know we're dealing with animals and they go by smell.
Do you have a card, or does that just do exactly what it says it does?
Literally just
I'm
makes
assuming
it so
it's
that
what it
nobody
says
can
on the
smell
tin,
me. Yeah,
but
here,
I've
got it.
never actually heard
Give
of
me
this
a
spell in
minute.
my life.
Here we go.
Somewhere in the primal deck. These spell cards are crazy useful, by the way.
Where's it? I have it somewhere. Did you take it from me?
I don't.
I'm gonna assume it does what it says.
Yes, it just
and,
literally makes it so they can't smell me.
It probably is a verbal component, I assume.
It does have
So
a
you're
verbal component,
going
which
to have
is
to cast. So as
why
you call out from nowhere, the dino quickly, almost startled, rustles up to its feet and backs off a little bit. Actually backing off towards the further corner of the cage, like a cornered rat, largely. His massive body now arced across this corner, head up, turned down towards you, tail curled around his legs. But as your spell completes, he keeps sniffing and then starts kind of swinging his head around back and forth as he sniffs, utterly unclear of what's going on.
I will suppress my urge to pet the dinosaur. And I will start quietly casting Shape Wood.
Is it quietly, though?
It's not that quiet.
Because I don't think it's... I'm sure it's got solid verbal components. So, as you cast another spell here at the doorway, which completes relatively quickly and starts to fuse the wood together, the dinosaur stomps around a bit, lowering his head almost kind of like the elephants did, just sort of almost in a pushing motion towards where your voice is coming from, stamping around pretty loudly. And you can see from the other end of the camp, it at least gets the attention of some of the boggards and Chiruka sitting near the fire in the infirmary as they just kind of look over at the very upset dinosaur and nothing really visibly happening, as from that great distance there's no way you can see you marrying two logs together that are basically touching already.
Just because I have another free cast of it in my staff, I'm gonna look at another weak point and I'm gonna meld that together too, just to try to give it a little bit more sturdiness from two sides.
Just both sides of the door get welded together.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. And with a second casting here, it continues to kind of jump around and get clearly more upset. Confused, scared, seemingly pretty aggressive. The thing would actually lumber forward a few steps and then swing with its massive neck, slamming the top of its skull against the doorway, which is now sealed, but he is going to break as he actually destroying the wire that's holding them and breaking some of the frame off of the door before stamping back away into his corner. He doesn't completely blast the wall off of its hinges or anything, but he breaks a couple of timbers free from where they're lashed.
That does give me an idea for later, if necessary. But I'm gonna stay invisible, and I'm gonna make my way back over to you guys and just kind of tap you to let you know that it's done.
The rest of you, this is incredibly obvious of what's happening here, even if you can barely make out Resume's voice in the distance.
And a bit nerve-wracking.
Yeah, and as she returns and just taps on someone, you see one of the boggards walking over from the infirmary, walking over towards the dinosaur cage, starting to make his way up.
Should we try to lure him behind the refuse pile while he'll be out of sight, and then we can take him?
Wouldn't be a bad idea.
Okay. Let's take cover behind the refuse pile and see if we can lure him over here.
Okie dokie. So as he starts to come, let me... It's so many... I guess I could just zoom my working map way out. He starts working his way over here. The group of you are going to move around to this massive refuse pile, and I will make us a larger map that's more convenient. That is interesting. It's always interesting on digital formats to run these sort of larger scale encounters because it so rarely happens. It's so frequently literal dungeons and corridors and hallways and crypts. But I like the variety. So are you just moving over in this general direction, staying like way back in the foliage, or are you trying to get up closer to
Probably
the...
directly behind it because we need to be able to lure him over.
Yeah, so like we can just like make like innocuous noises, like make like
Just clap.
No, not clap, but like drop rocks. Or something.
Caw!
Yes.
No.
Ah, so majestic.
I can be more subtle about it because I'm invisible. I'll just kind of make
I'm an
noises
elephant.
like leading over here.
Shenanigans, I love it.
There are no
Yes, this
space
is a
ducks in the
perfect
Moldy
plan.
jungle.
This is a perfect
I'll
plan.
actually just go and then
So-
say, I'm an elephant out
As
loud.
you all kind of move up, making your way over behind this refuse pile here for some cover to wait for this boggard to approach and see what happens. What are you guys all like doing? Obviously, she's sneaking via invisibility. What are the rest of you doing
I'm
as you move
sneaking.
around? Are we all sneaking?
Pretty sure we're following
I think we're following the
Oh,
expert.
we are following the expert on Esvus stealth. Right, that's the thing. You have that cool feat now for that.
Yes.
So everyone's all trying to stay hidden. You wouldn't really notice until the side of the refuge pile blasted outward the motions of the truly enormous spider that appears to just kind of have been living inside it. And as he bursts forth
No
like
plan survives contact.
like a trapdoor beast, a second and third erupt out alongside him.
Well, this is clearly what's causing the.
I'm definitely gonna need some initiative.
Yeah.
God, I hate spiders.
No plan survives contact with the enemy. Hey, your plan got relatively far, to be fair.
Wait, do we all use stealth for initiative?
Anyone can use stealth for initiative if you want.
Oh, good.
Oh wow.
You do not have to. You can use perception.
If you are going to use the +1 from me, however, I'm going to have to roll perception for mine.
No, you can do visual.
No, my feat specifically states
Oh.
that I have to be doing perception.
Well, I
or
mean, it's up to
survival.
you, good sir. You
I'm-
want to call
I'm-
it a warning or not?
No, I can do a visual, but I have to do it with perception is the thing. So I'm going to do that with you.
Okay, perfect.
So everybody will get +1.
Yay.
Beautiful spider sounds.
Ah,
Oh,
No,
sirens.
please don't.
Escape. I
kill
love
it with
you
fire.
so much.
Except
Okay, so-
fire's no good now.
Yeah,
Oh no, it's perfectly fine against spiders
what are they
probably.
gonna do?
They have little Cinderclaw badges.
So here's the problem. I
Shape
pulled
poop?
him off of his base. I have a spoot. That is the giant tarantula from the bestiary box.
Yeah, all right.
And unless I am blind, which is totally possible, the Age of Ashes pawn box does not have these specific thingies.
They're like,
So
what
we have-
idiots would totally run into
We
these
have
things?
two other vaguely mini-limbed things that are a roper and a pup.
That
So
seems legit.
those are spiders. Don't bully me. They're spiders. Alrighty, resume.
I don't like any of those things.
Resume
What's your initiative count?
is 26.
We do need initiative first.
Yeah, sorry.
Before we start doing stuff. Dalren.
I actually have a 32.
Ooh.
Big
Yeah,
lad. You for-
did.
34.
Oof.
I was almost first class.
You're not.
Idiot.
Could have been a contender.
Esvus.
I'm
Also
I'm
32.
gonna hand you
I
that.
see a second
That's
hero.
low for
Who
you.
wants to go first? So you two.
You can go first.
Oh, okay.
And that brings us to Rur.
28.
The hero pointed it to
Yeah, I had a 22.
top up of a resume, and then we have Spider Oon. Coming in with a 20. They're pretty large, and although they're kind of getting the drop on you here, they're not very fast about it. Spider 2 coming in with a 27.
They have a leg up on
Right
us.
below me.
Let me go put these so they actually say 1 and 2 and stuff in the back, so I know what I'm doing. And Spider 3
I take 1 mental damage.
also there. So, as this pile of mud here is erupting outward, which has become clearly the den of a trio of massive spiders, they're not subtle at all. you would certainly have time to react before they're upon you. And buddy, you're up first.
I'm going to move in between Rur and Resume,
Okay.
adjacent to the spider. And then I'm going to try and shove the spider back with my hammer. I don't know if it's
Back in your hole!
get back.
I don't want any Girl Scout cookies.
Okay, so that's a 26.
26 will succeed. So you kind of shove him back down into his den.
And then I will raise my shield.
Yeah, the kind of a cascade of mud falling back down as he erupts off of Beaver and immediately rushes over and just, no, you don't! Dalren.
Oh dear. How far has that boggart gotten?
The boggart is about halfway across the field here. He would be making his way past this little hut right now. And with these spiders blasting out again, they're not subtle. You would sort of, as you could barely see around the northern end of the mud pile, you can't really see his reaction.
Okay.
That'd be about how far he would have been as you get here. Because this pile is huge.
Huge,
You
like he can't
over
see
it.
it.
All right,
Yeah.
that's fine. All right, so
That's about where he was when you came around.
all right, so we may, if we're quick about it, we might be able to put this down. So no time for subtlety. Crackle, pull up. Let's see. Esvus is kind of might get overwhelmed here, so I'm going to rush back 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, right next to Esvus there.
Okay.
And flip that Gisam up over Esvus's shoulder and just stab into this giant thing.
Okay.
Back in your hole, you. Except not with a shove, with a poke.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not very good. That's a 21.
21 will hit him.
Oh, it will?
It's a giant spider. It's not like, it's not fast, nor is it super armored or anything.
Oh, all right. Well, this not quite fast or armored spider is going to take 26 lightning damage.
Okay, and that would be their spider base. They do, however, look like they are relatively sturdy, just by prodigious size alone.
Fair enough.
Didn't we
Esvus.
already fight one of these?
Probably a little while ago.
I'm going
Not a
to.
giant tarantula. These are a little bit different than the spider that had come upon you back at Hunter's Gate. These things are, well, they're not hairless, but their hair seems to be much more matted as they live in this huge mud pile. They're much leaner, certainly. Their legs a lot narrower. None of them actually look like that tarantula. They look like this token, which if you guys want to have nightmares forever,
I don't really.
Absolutely.
I can
It's
go
okay.
ahead and just
No,
give you
really,
one of
it's
these.
okay.
You
It's,
get to-
What's their scientific name, just so I can, biologically differentiate them from the previous spiders we fought?
Arachidinus
mud
horribilis.
spider.
Big spider.
Horribilis legidius bernardus.
Sorry,
Anyway,
Esvus.
all right. So I will hunt prey, the one in front of me, and then I will use the feat that allows me to step and strike, or strike then step. So I will step backward
Whoop.
and shoot him with a longbow. And 22.
Yeah, probably hit him.
22 will hit.
Oh, okay.
Oh god, he just gets bigger every time we hit him.
Stop it. Stop it. Please.
Oh, like it for it.
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
That's 15 points of piercing into an abdomen. And then I will hunted shot. 2 more shots.
Get in your hole.
26
26 hits.
and 23.
23 also hits. So quickly laying 3 arrows into this spider.
I don't like it. I don't like that thing, no sir.
Get.
Second arrow. 15 more points of magical piercing damage.
Okay.
Third arrow. 13 more points of magical piercing damage.
All right, and
Blink, blink, blink.
at this, with you and Dalren setting upon this thing, together you've done 69 damage to it.
Nice.
In a quick flurry. Pretty nice indeed. But it doesn't really seem to be terribly bothered. You've knocked through its kite and its exoskeleton in various places, and there's clear injuries, but your weapons are just so small compared to this thing's girth that it's not even close to slowing down.
Persistence is key.
Sure.
Perhaps we should consider backing off before we get discovered and let them deal with this. And I'll draw my scimitar and step back into the tree line as far back as I can move in one action.
Okay, well,
Because-
I can move the map if you
No,
guys want
that-
to move literally all of your enemies.
No, I was just going to.
Oh, is it there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't need to move everything.
So close.
Okay, we'll just fix
We'll just have to move everything again.
Can't see the closer to the screen.
Yeah, so I'll just move to there, and
If
I will.
only you were taller.
My chair's all the way up.
Man, that was the best wine ever.
You want action?
Actually, rather than drawing my scimitar, I'm gonna cast a new cantrip called for not new, just new for me, called Forbidding Ward,
Okay.
and Resume is gonna get a +1 from this one right here to AC and saves.
Okay.
Mwah.
Well, this middle spider now, as it's getting lashed out and shot and whapped, is pretty upset. And as he erupts out of his hole, as you're stabbing and launching at him, he's going to just strike out almost in a flicking motion with one foreleg out towards Esvus. It's going to be striking outward for...
A villain point.
Villain point.
Yeah, 'cause it's funny if it hits.
It's just gonna
For
grab
you.
you under the mud pile.
From Deadly Doll.
Oh, the betrayal.
I told you.
Yeah,
I told you.
Oh.
He saved it. He
Esvus,
saved it.
let me offer you this
Deadly
dagger.
doll. I told you.
Do you feel it in your back? Do you feel that dagger in your back?
What's on that die?
That is a 20, good sir.
So, Deadly Doll.
Deadly
Remember
Doll's
what I
emotes
said?
are amazing in the
I
chat.
called this. I called this a week ago.
Man,
You were gonna nat 20 Esvus.
It turned a nat 1 into a nat 20.
No, go ahead. It's fine.
max damage too, huh?
You take 31 bludgeoning damage,
Actually, that's betrayal damage right
and it
there.
knocks you over, striking you prone. As it
just-
scuttles,
It just.
It just whack-a-moles you into the ground.
scuttles a little further out of its hive here to bring its fangs to bear against Dalren. As it races up towards the source of these strikes, what's that die say?
That is a 20.
You know, I blame this on Deadly Doll.
It's entirely
This is
his
the
fault.
dice that you gave me.
Doll. This
You
is
gave
for
me
sure.
this d20. With
That's why it's lashing out so violently at him.
a 32 on a natural 20.
That will regular hit me.
Not a natural 20, so it's critical.
I mean,
It is seemingly very, very incensed by your attack. Gonna bear down on Dalren, almost pulling him entirely into its maw, which at first looks to be two fangs before just a set of mandibles hiding behind it reach out to grab around him. For 40 piercing damage.
okay, that's pretty good.
And I need you to make me a fortitude save.
I can do that. Hang on, still doing subtraction.
Math is hard.
I have like 2 different hit point pools, so.
That's true, you did rage, so you have a temp hit pool.
Fortitude save is 28, and it's a critical if I pass.
Okay, so then you will critically save. It's
Woo,
it's
Juggernaut's
one
the
worse
best.
because he crit you, so it's a regular success still, so you're still not pointing.
Oh, is that like a. Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
because it's from the critical hit.
Yeah, because he critically hit you.
Is that like a core mechanic of the game? Or
Yeah.
is that,
So-
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I'm pretty
true.
sure if you get hit by your crit with the poison, it's either 2 doses at once or you're 1 stage worse. Either way, you're gonna succeed, so you're not gonna get anything.
Yay!
Resume, and before we go any further here, P Fred 0, Esvus again. Here, take this. Take this hero point.
Thank you,
Hey,
P. Fred Zero.
Take this hero point from a not trader. He gave it to me last week and he literally called it. That I was still gonna have it next week and it was gonna get used to crit you and I can't even actually. It wasn't even intentional. I just used it to reroll and I looked over like, who's next? Oh, it's Deadly Dolls. Oh, it's a 20.
Even more specifically, I said that dice was going to be the dice that killed you.
Well, it didn't.
So it didn't kill you, but
yet.
it might get you killed.
Resume.
We'll see.
Resume will drop invisibility, because clearly it's not gonna work anymore. And then she will intone out, and she will cast Shockwave at the 2 spiders coming this way, and they will need to make
The top 2 or the bottom 2?
The bottom two.
Okay, so the top
ones
one's
who
pretty
are-
much in his
The ones who
hole
are
again.
in my cone.
The reflex saves, right?
Yep.
Or is it fortitude saves?
Give me a minute and I'll tell you.
It's probably reflex.
It's probably reflex. It's a 21 if it's reflex. And a 25 if it's reflex.
The first one is gonna fail. The second one is going to succeed.
So prone,
Prone.
and then it's I think it's stunned 1.
Stunned
What it is.
one.
Yeah.
And then the second one is just, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's prone and then stunned 1.
So the first spider goes prone.
First spider's prone, second spider's stunned.
is stunned one.
Okay.
And then I will back up.
What are you backing up to?
Where Rur is, because it looks really nice and green in
Off of
there.
the tree line, it looks nice.
Ding,
over
ding,
there.
ding, ding, ding.
And
Byron's gonna come around the corner.
as more of these spiders come erupting out of here, this is pretty loud, honestly. You can hear shouting in Mwangi from the other side of the pile, which is probably pretty alarming to three who don't speak Mwangi. But the two of you do, you would hear Boggart calling out, "It got spooked by spiders! Stupid lizard!"
Thank God for stupid.
And the first spider is going to crawl back up out of its hole here towards Buford. And as you're just kind of right up in front of him, try to bite down on you. He's going to snap his little fangs for 32.
And that does end up hitting.
And as he bites, you are going to take 18 points of piercing damage. I need a fortitude save from you.
Okie dokie. A fortitude save of 29.
29 solid. You're going to be poisoned. And as you're still as he bites on you, his massive fangs just reaching around your shield and your whole body, his fangs larger than you are, you're not moving, to his surprise. So he's going to try to use his bulk to physically push you out of the way so we can come out of his trapdoor and do trapdoor spider stuff. So he's going to attempt to shove you against your 4 DC with a 21.
And I am a stout being.
You are holding a spider in its hole as if it's trying to eat you.
Get.
The bottom spider,
is flat-footed, by the way, not stunned one.
Ah,
flat-footed.
sorry.
Okay, I was like, wow, you get a worse thing for succeeding? Like, he's gonna kind of stumble out of his little hive here, out of his hole, out of the mud pile, and see this battle happening next to him. And as he sees his prey, two of you, he is going to kind of scrape the ground and flip both of his front legs up. Not necessarily striking you with them, but loosing what at first looks like a little barrage of mud that's clung to its legs, but strikes through like darts as these tiny but thick barbed hairs shed off of his legs. And I need Esvus and Dalren to make me reflex saves.
I was gonna say if it used sand attack,
Our accuracy is down.
that's a 23.
23 will fail, so you're gonna take full damage.
30, and if I pass, I critically succeed.
So you're gonna take no damage then. So you do critically succeed then. So Esvus, I guess largely using Dalren for cover here, as Dalren is going to take 11 points of piercing damage,
Okay.
and that will bring us back to Buddy.
Okay, I am going to bring my hammer up and just smack this one right in the face. I'm still held, right? Grab.
No, he didn't grab you. He just
Oh,
bit
he
onto
didn't.
you.
Oh, he just
beat.
tried to. Okay.
Just for flavor.
Yeah, he big and bite. You're not actually like grappled at all.
Okay. So that is a 23.
23 will hit.
Okay, perfect. That's for 10 damage.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna try and shove him. So that is for a 25 minus
20
5.
25 minus 5?
No, that is with the
Okay.
minus 5.
25. Just throw him back in the hole again.
And then I will shield back up again.
This is great.
We can play this game.
All right, so while Buford is handling one of them by himself, how's Dalren doing?
Apparently trying to handle 2. We'll see how it goes
Good
for
luck,
me.
man.
I got your back.
So this thing is inspired Dalren. He's got some pokes. He's got needles sticking in him, but it's okay. These things are bugs. They're not gonna get to me. They're not to get to me. I have a dragon soul. It's better than this. So he's gonna try to push this thing off him, get a bit of clearance, flower this geese arm, and give a wide swipe. And with a swipe feat, because they are adjacent, I'm gonna
They
go
are
and
adjacent.
hit them both with one attack.
Ooh.
I think I roll on.
You roll
each
one attack,
I
and it
roll one
resolves
attack.
against both armor classes.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect.
And The bottom one maybe flat-footed. Unsure. I don't know if he's still flat-footed.
He's prone. The top one is prone.
Top one's prone. But I mean, the bottom one, I don't know if it lasts.
Has his turn come up again?
Yeah, he will.
Yeah, his turn to come
Then
up
yeah,
again.
no, he's
Okay.
maybe it's still gonna my turn.
It would take.
Ooh, natural.
Ooh, nat 20! This is the crit festival happening over here. He bites into you, and you swing your geese arm cleanly through both of them.
They're just bugs. They're not gonna get you.
Yeah, just
They're
I just had to talk
arachnids.
myself up to
battering
it.
through.
Let's see. So 12. That's just 28 times 2.
56.
56 lightning.
56 lightning damage. Okie dokie.
Nice.
What's 56 plus nice?
Nice.
56 plus nice.
125.
That's not how math
125,
works.
Okay. 125.
Oh, 96. Okay.
And then 56
No, nice is 16.
on the other one. And I believe that leaves you with an action left.
It leaves me with an action left, yeah. And so I've got a flat-footed thing right in front of me that I just slashed through, so...
And now
again,
it looks, with that massive cut, you have probably entirely removed at least one leg with that swipe. And he has gone from bearing down on you to, oh.
Well, let's go ahead and give it its other leg back. So take that geese arm and stab it back.
Do it again!
What is happening? Okay,
We
so
hate the spider so much.
you crit me, I crit you. You are easily, while this thing is prone in front of you, going to near bisect it with this barbarian fury. Like, I don't know if you want to roll damage, go for it. But he's got 10 health left.
It's a lot, yeah.
So-
It's like... That's 56 was the last one. This is, yeah, so that's 58 that time.
Oh my gosh, 58. Yeah, 58 damage. You would absolutely just shear this thing clean in half, leaving just an oozing, battered husk of a spider left.
I don't know if the other spiders can kind of understand how combat goes, but I'll just kind of go on a guard stance and glare at the other one, but not so much that I have to take an action. to intimidate it.
Esvus.
I will stand back up, spit out a little bit of blood as my ribs and diaphragm were crushed. I'm going to hunt prey this one,
Plink, plink.
and I'm going to step and strike. So I'm gonna go diagonal, get away from this thing. Yeah, there we go, and shoot an arrow at it. And I'm gonna just throw the jailbreak.
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 The bad dice are getting out.
You know what? It wants out. I'm gonna let it try.
Okay. Let's say a 20.
Pick me, boss!
No,
Okay.
25.
25 will hit though.
Card fail.
Thank you so much. If it would have been a natural 20, that would have been crazy good.
Actually, a little wild.
So that's gonna be 11 points of magical piercing damage from an arrow.
Alrighty. That's 3 actions, right?
Yep.
Rare.
Well, that looked like it hurt a lot. So,
I wanted to point out that you did 112 damage in a single strike. Because it was 56 to 2 spiders.
That's true.
And then you did 58 damage on your second strike.
Yeah, those 20s are a magical thing, I'll tell you.
Rare.
so I'm gonna go on ahead and
Level lightning bolt.
fix all that damage that just happened to you, channeling the blessing of Sarenrae to give you healer's blessing, and then smack you with the 2-action heal spell.
Also doing 3 damage.
What is he, like,
So-
giving me a pepper or something?
25.
25 plus 32 plus 9.
25 plus 32 plus 9 is
77
I am
plus
back to
9,
full.
yeah.
That equals full.
76.
It always
Yeah.
is full.
76. Because it's 32 plus.
I think it's 66.
Yeah. Oh, no, you're right. Wait.
66.
66.
25 plus 32, so 25 plus 25 plus 7, so 57 plus
Yeah,
9.
966. Yeah, you're right.
And that's all 3 years, I believe.
Yeah,
so
that's a
resume.
full turn.
How you feeling, buddy?
Feel like I could take on the world.
Resme will pop out of the bushes, look up at it, the spider that's in front of Dalrin, and cast a 3-action magic missile on it since she's hidden.
It's there, why not? Fair
It's there,
enough.
why not? So it gets to make me a save.
I don't think it does
No,
anything.
that,
It's
that's
a magic
right,
missile.
magic this stuff.
You just roll numbers.
I just roll.
Just do damage.
I haven't done this spell in a while.
Hey, you haven't actually. Just the 3rd level,
I'm
right?
not looking forward to like 9th level magic missile dice.
Stuff is going to get hard to roll at high levels, and I'm unclear at the moment on how exactly we're going to handle it. Because
Just reroll one, because I'm all out.
I got like 35 d8
Ow.
attacks and like level 20 monsters, so I mean, I'm not positive how we're doing that quite yet. We'll figure it out when we get
deserve
there.
that.
5,
We're just gonna get a virtual dice roller. And just put them
We
up
may
around.
have to.
We may literally have to use a virtual die roller for high level Pathfinder.
You
too.
clearly don't play Warhammer.
23.
I can
what
parse
did we
like
do?
a double handful of d6s in that much time.
Well, yeah, but that's
Right, so as these-
specific D6.
As these 3 rockets crash into the southernmost spider, he does appear
6 technically.
to 6 missiles crash in. He does definitely seem to be getting a bit more wounded. This spider is going to push back out again, just kind of legs folded in front of itself, just barreling forward with all the force it can muster to try and just shove Buford out of its freaking hole with a natural 1. So it falls down.
It goes to push you, and it's all mud,
I'm
and its
ready
legs
for
slip
it with
out.
my shield, and I just can kind of
Tell
bash
me
it
how the
back.
ground tastes, little man.
And I think it's completely stuck in its dumb little tunnel. It is going to lash out, flinging a leg towards you.
It's gonna feel some fear with it. It's gonna feel like a little bit of a glimpse of, maybe today's not the day.
Maybe I should go back in my
Is that when it
hole.
does damage or when it attacks?
Oh, I guess it's when it does
Just
damage.
have to actually hit you, because I don't know if this hits you. Because it is 6 lower than that, so it's a 26.
I did not.
Yeah, it's gotta hit you. So you gotta save your reaction. It's gotta hit you first.
Yeah.
And that's gonna just flip the leg one more time. Yeah. And as that second one just lashing out almost wildly from the side of the mud pile, doing nothing. Meanwhile, the southernmost spider is gonna raise its leg up and just bash it down over Dalren's head
It's just whap.
with a 24.
24 will actually just hit me because I don't take it seriously.
Still don't take it seriously.
I still don't take
Nope.
it seriously.
That contempt.
And as it smashes into you, you are going to take 10 points of bludgeoning damage. So it's not so much damage, but it does knock you down, flattening you against the earth before it rushes up to follow up on that with a bite. Which is going to like a 17, so...
Kick those.
Yeah.
Kick those little fangs away. Get.
Alright, buddy.
I'm going to, as it's down in front of me, I guess I'll just, take a nice swinging hit here. So this
Stop
is
it.
a 32.
32 will critically hit.
And then,
This spider doesn't have good pattern recognition.
yeah.
It's not a difficult time.
10, 14, 28.
28 points of bludgeoning damage.
Whap.
This poor spider. I actually kind of feel bad for him.
I don't.
The spider's
then-
just getting bullied by Buford up in the corner.
All the spider has to do for it to stop is just to sit in its hole and
Yeah.
stay there.
I'm going to try and make that point as I'm going to, on its back, try and shove it back in.
Roll it.
Just roll it back into net. Did you get a nat 20?
No, I got
it's
an
18.
18.
Close
So
enough.
18 plus 15.
33.
33.
3.
28.
Yeah,
is the
28,
second.
but yeah,
28
second.
still gonna definitely succeed. You're gonna
And
bounce
then
it
I shink
Roll
and
its
my
body
shield goes
back
back up.
down into the mud. Shove it, pack it back into the mud pile.
You live in here. You
Stop.
stay.
You stay.
Stop.
Yep.
Bad. Get back.
One action left.
No,
Oh,
I
shield.
shielded, yeah.
Alright.
All right. Just kind of roll with the thing. Just scramble back up to my feet. This spider is just on me, but I mean, Dalren. Clearly, these spiders are no problem. Dalren is just completely doesn't take him seriously. He just kind of spits at the spider and then just sweeps the geese arm to try to take a leg off. Oh, that's a natural 1. I swept with the
Taking
wrong
him
end.
too not seriously.
Yeah, it's like, oh god, the sharp end is on this side. Redo my grip. All right. Ha! Just hit the body. That's not great. That's a 16.
16 is gonna glance off as well as you try to struggle up and get your bearings there on your feet again.
And third action is.
Stood up.
Oh, I did stand
Esvus.
up. Crud.
I have that problem too. Standing up, I always
You
forget
mentally
about.
discount standing up.
I just- I'm
It's
just
a
like, yeah,
recurring
whatever.
issue.
I'm going to move on back here so I can stop taking volley penalty.
Come back to the tree line gang.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to hunted shot for 2 attacks. First attack, 33.
33 will critically hit.
And second, yeah, I'm gonna hero point that one. That hero point is the last one from Deadly Doll.
Okay.
Give me a natural 20. That's not bad. That'll be a 27, so hitting a crit.
27 will hit. Hit the crit.
All right. So let me gather dice. Why are numbers hard? we go. All right, so this will be the crit. So that's
That's
22 points of damage.
Okay.
So magical piercing, and the second attack is 14 points of magical piercing.
And with that spider is still alive, but it is hanging by a thread there.
Then I'll take a third shot at it.
Well, given that.
Oh, given that, yeah.
Yeah, okay, we should shoot him again. Sounds good.
And that one just clinks off the chitin.
Alrighty, that will bring us to Rur. Realistically, can only see one spider at the moment.
I haven't heard anything else out of that boggart, have I?
No, but you are on the other side of a massive, like, this mountain's probably 15, 20 feet tall. It's a humongous pile of mud and refuse.
Biggest sense of deja vu. Have you ever just told Rur at some point you can only realistically see one spider at this point before? Like, has that ever happened?
Probably in the Renali
the
cave.
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
the
Renali, okay.
Wow.
with the
You're
trying to cast
right.
burning.
Like, my head just
Yeah.
went
Crazy.
glitch in the matrix, and I was like, what?
I guess I probably have said that sentence to Rur before.
Well, then I'm gonna go on ahead and forbidding ward on Dalrin and the spider, and cast shield on myself.
I just throw out the team
Protections.
defenses there. Resume.
Resme will look over, and she knows that spider's in there, and she sees that spider's really hurt. So she's gonna cast out an electric arc.
Okay.
I think I'm too far.
Definitely only gonna hit the one spider.
That's fine. She'll do the one in front of
But,
Dalrin.
Still, a zap is a zap. That's a reflex save, right?
It is.
He is going to get a 32.
Okay, that's gonna succeed, so he'll take half damage.
Does not critically succeed anymore. We have become large lads now
Yeah.
with large numbers.
It's kind of weird when the twin leopards was kind of like, you could probably destroy this entire city. I'm like, seriously? Really? You think we're that bad? That's crazy.
I don't know with what you just did to those two spiders.
Well, yeah.
So he'll go ahead and he'll take 8 damage.
8 damage is actually going to be enough to stop his attacks there as his lightning racks through him and with a couple final twitches. He just kind of collapses over onto one side, legs askew, and stops moving.
And because I never believe that I'm not gonna get hit, I'm gonna cast shield.
It's always a good thing to, good confidence to keep. Top spider.
Spider.
Top spider
Their battle continues
does
to
not
this very
immediately make
day.
a further attempt.
They can
Yeah.
be taught.
I'm gonna look at him, kind of. Okay.
Probably can't really see him at this point. You
Well,
shoved
I'm
him back
gonna
in
do
there
it
and
to
you
the
look
hole
at
in the ground,
the
and then
mud
I'm
pile
going
where he
to-
came from.
Then I'm going
Nope,
to
nope.
kind of readjust my armor, and well, this one seems to be properly cowed. So I guess we move on, eh?
Okay.
Those are so
Didn't exactly go to plan. Oh, goodness, where's that boggart?
So as this fight finishes here, and the sound's kind of quiet, you can still hear the very distant tink of metal picks on stone, and the sound of the wind in the trees, and not much else.
Is it entirely possible that that didn't raise an alarm?
It is possible. They are dumb.
And we might have actually saved ourselves about the dinosaur going all crazy because,
I guess the spiders would distract the dinosaur.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's move.
Okay.
Okay, all right, further south then. So next one shall be the vampire and lure out some more boggarts. I believe that was the next stage of the plan.
That's on the other side of the camp.
Do you want to hit the...
Yeah, so we
The building
go all the way
then?
around.
Yeah, I guess we'd better go back and
We could circle back around
go
to the other
tree
side.
cover over there.
Tree cover and then
Yeah.
circle back around?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay.
All right, perfect.
So,
Lead the way, please.
you move out into the tree line again. As you do, you see a boggard just kind of slowly stroll up around the side. Just kind of peeking, and it doesn't look like he has a care in the damn world as he comes around this pile. Then he looks, and he sees what appears to be a massive mud spider that's been cleaved completely in half, and another one that has been fried with some bits of singed grass around it from lightning blast, and kind of a surprising amount of blood. And he looks. I just sort of was looking across it, then starts looking off towards the tree line. So, how does your stealth thingy work?
So it's one roll using the lowest modifier.
Buddy, what's your stealth modifier?
0.
So, but you get
+2.
There was something else on top of that,
Right.
wasn't there?
You get-
Wasn't there
you
something
get
else?
benefits.
You
from-
get it like your expert, I believe. So your proficiency, which I imagine is untrained,
It is untrained.
would be 4 from his expert because you're following the expert, and then you get an additional +2 from the feat. So your stealth would actually be a 6.
What
right
if I
now.
don't
Do you
want to
have dex
follow
at
the
all?
leader?
What do you have any
No.
dex? Oh, okay.
I do
Stealth
not.
yourself? It's just worse.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, if he's a master in stealth and you're following him with his feet, it's just worse to not follow him
Oh, okay.
because you just get a +2 over what you would be an expert.
And like even if we all bailed on him, it'd just be Buddy, except without all of that bonuses. So
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
I
it
just
doesn't-
didn't
it doesn't make
understand
it
it worked that way.
So I'm pretty sure you are rolling at a +6. Who do you want to roll it, or does Buford want to roll it? Because I don't particularly care.
No,
Because you
I
get
mean,
his
I'm
you get his +4
following
from
the
his expert modifier,
here.
and you get +2 from his feet.
I mean, I'm following the expert here.
I say we'll leave it up to Buddy.
Do it.
Oh.
Buddy,
Okay.
roll it.
I am stealthy. I'll use my blue die because that's probably more stealthy.
Sneaky
lowers his
beaky
hat
die.
down.
That's a 12. But I could probably session reroll that. If I
Might be
felt-
worth maybe spending
Okay,
the session
this time for
reroll.
sure. That's an 8. Total.
On the, oh,
He like stands behind a sapling and just stands
So-
really still, shiny armor.
fat man, skinny post. As this boggard looks around, looks at the tree line, his eyes pretty clearly fall on Buford. Full plate, a shimmering, but spattered with mud. He pretty clearly sees the group of you. So, is this
These are
yeah.
the initiative.
yeah.
Initiative, I
only
guess.
some initiative back up real quick here? As it's quite obvious that he
That's
does
top,
notice
right?
you there.
Everybody get a +1.
Buford is ready for
I
it.
was
Huh?
ready
Is that
natural
Here you
20.
go. And that was Destronet's giving me an initiative reroll.
Yeah, yeah, you said roll it. Yeah, it's on the corner.
Okay.
Hey,
I'm gonna session roll that.
Because I was in that one, and I
Boggart's
don't
about
want
to
a
have
nat
the
one.
worst thing that's ever happened.
That's
to
not
him.
a one.
Oh, I think I have all the session rules now.
We will take that improvement.
there you go.
Okie dokie. Buford!
Stealth.
35.
He's so ready to fight, though. Dalren.
So ready to fight.
He knew he wasn't gonna hide.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah.
31.
Stealth. Resume.
30.
We're counting backwards. We're.
20.
We
I really had
think
hope
we
in the
skipped a
stealth.
bunch of numbers. Esvus.
37.
Ooh.
I was the only one apparently that had faith in the stealth.
The
Boggard
elf
lad.
in stealth.
Boggard lad is in fact going to come in above Rur, but only above Rur, and only just, as he doesn't even immediately seem to fully understand what it is he's seeing. So be like around here, realistically.
Do we need a token for him?
Here is exactly his token from the
Hey.
Convention Fun Box.
Cheek him out.
Have a Boggard. And Esvus, give me the first turn.
The moment I see that Buddy is exposed,
You're like,
We're made!
you know myself. I mean, out of everyone.
Exclamation mark.
exclamation point over Esvus, and just, all right, I'm gonna hunt prey, hunted shot. So, first shot is a 34.
34 will critically hit.
Second shot, I'm gonna not have a natural one. I'm gonna hero point that one. That goes up to a 25.
25 will hit.
Okay. So, on the normal hit, it is 17 points of magical piercing.
Okay.
On the normal hit?
On the normal hit.
Nice.
How is that possible?
That's an 8 and a 6.
And I have weapon specialization against my, or weapon damage against my,
The 7th level now, boys. Weapon specializations are coming online.
oh, that's right, and he's also pinned. He's pinned in
also
place.
stuck to the gun.
Yeah,
Agitate time.
Aw, frowny face. And then 17 points on the crit because I rolled abysmally low.
It's not passable. It's time something, unless you have something that doesn't multiply.
the deadly doesn't multiply.
Yeah, deadly
So
doesn't
it was
multiply.
bad on the
Alright, fair
deadly.
enough.
Yeah.
So 17, 2 arrows, one sticking down. There was like pinning him down to the ground. The other kind of stuck to the side of his torso as he doubles over in pain.
Third shot, because I can, is a natural one.
Alright, so down to 1.
Yeah, down to 1 hero point.
Okay. Buddy.
So I,
How much time has passed between the two fights before the boggart came around the corner?
Like, maybe 45 seconds.
45
30
seconds? Okay,
30
so I
seconds,
have-
probably.
30 seconds.
You're actually probably
Okay.
you couldn't rage quit. I don't think.
But I have 5 more rounds on my healer's blessing.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
But yes, I also can.
I drop my hammer, and my spiked shield comes out, and I just blast.
I don't know how this works.
Aim that direction, and that's as good as we're gonna go. Very good,
nice.
actually. Okay, so that's 16 plus 17.
33.
And
It
33.
is exactly the same roll as if it was it's still a +1 striking shield spike. Only
Yeah.
uses your dex to your strength.
Oh, okay, so
So,
that would be minus.
So 29.
-4. So
Yeah, minus 4. Yeah, 29.
29.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna critically hit.
Yay!
And then,
I don't
Want to
know
roll me
what's
the
going
damage on that? Yeah.
oh gosh, it was a 2 ones there. Plus
Plus anything, strength or anything, or just no?
for shield spikes is
shield spike.
is
Yeah,
1d6
it says it's
plus 4.
exactly the same as it does. So I'm pretty sure it's
So yeah,
You
so
would
that'd be
somehow
6
add your strength
damage.
to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 6
inexplicably, I
damage,
think it's what it is.
And then that did
Doubles to
crit,
12.
so 12.
And as that strike strikes him. Well, that's a weird tongue twister today. Hitting him right solidly in the chest with Buford's first effort here. It sticks into him and he just falls over face first in the mud.
Nice.
Hey, this,
Dalrin's gonna run
You
out,
know-
grab him, and drag him behind the.
you know
unpin
the
him
shield
first.
is
Yeah, I can't make the DC 10 athletics check. Oh no!
Yeah,
Damn.
natural ones exist. I mean,
Even with a natural one, do I?
So hauling this
Yeah, 19
boggart
athletics.
quickly
Yeah, I'm not quite there. Not quite there.
back behind the pile. Buford probably off his new shield here.
yeah.
That was
real
amazing.
The thing shoots out. It doesn't even like. Esvus has got a longbow. He's a pretty good shot. His arrows still obviously have arc. At long distances, he aims up a bit. Your shield seems to fly unerringly. It shot out like a bullet, pinpoint, boom, exactly
What's
into
a
his
bullet?
chest, and it took him down.
This is
don't know what
real
guns are.
nifty.
It's like a sling.
yeah, we haven't played with bullets.
Slings don't drop. They have no. Yeah, they're instant.
You
hit.
literally met Stoutmore.
We haven't seen him shoot.
You know what guns are.
I don't know what guns are.
Freaking
You
hit
might not know what
scans,
guns
shield spikes here.
So he falls, largely without making a sound because he just got hit with a couple of arrows and a shield spike. So he
Thump,
went down
thump,
like
thump.
immediately.
So what were we doing? Walking that way, right?
Yes, walking this way. First off, though, let's just pat through him real quick and see what he's got on him, just so we can, because he'll probably have similar gear to everybody else over there.
Good to yeah.
Patting
When
him
I-
over.
When I say go right, it means this way.
Well, I didn't know if it's your right or my right, and we don't even have it written down on my gloves anymore.
Wow. You had that?
That's amazing.
You can't know.
Next time. I've got you next time.
Weren't we facing the same direction?
No,
So-
he was in front of me.
Doesn't the
boggart-
sun rise in the
Anyway.
west?
The boggart had a fairly large quarterstaff that he was walking with, much like the ones that the Indian Fairbreed had, and he had this one crossbow hanging at his hip. He's got some little bits drawn around him, little fetishes, bones, and trophies, but he doesn't have anything in the way of actual like armor or clothing, really.
Any runes inscribed in any of that gear?
It doesn't appear to be now.
Okay.
Got a badge.
Does have a Cinderclaw badge.
Let's take it.
The
Add it to
bag.
the collection.
That's the real reason why we came
Yeah,
over
that's
here.
why we're here.
Be honest.
It's like collecting dog tags in Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah, I feel like a jerk now.
Taking a badge off of his belt. He's still hearing nothing but the sound of picks in the distance and the wind in the trees.
Take the body, chuck it down the spider hole that has a spider in it somewhere.
As you do, the spider once again just kind of explosively comes back out, grabs the boggart, and pulls it back.
Problem solved.
All right.
Matter of fact, while we're here, let's put the other spiders in their holes.
Let's.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
let's move.
no. Ew. Not touching it.
I feel like a boggart not coming back is going to be more
I say
suspicious.
that simply because of how much time it will take and not because I don't want to touch
They
the
are
dead spider.
very large
I am not touching the spider.
and in several pieces, and there's blood everywhere.
Let's move.
Thank you.
Prestidigitation all the blood. That'd take a while.
Like a couple hours.
Yeah.
All right, so where are you headed now?
We're headed back up and around to go to where I saw the vampire bat nest.
Either way, just around to Vampire Bat.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna make your way.
That is not the sound the
Yep,
Vampire Bats
That
make.
is the sound of Florida thunder doing Florida thunder things.
Please don't do
outside.
Florida Thunder things.
Please
like
don't knock the power out again. Come on! We took our session last week.
It's right at the end, fortunately. So
Okay.
Please hear this blessing back.
All right. So as you move and make your way around, creeping around the northwestern side of the camp and down the western side once more back to where you'd seen the weird little flying vampire creature. Go ahead and give me another one of those stealth checks.
You want me to roll it?
Well, I mean, it's a party stealth check, and that's kind of how it works.
I mean, like we can swap off if.
Yeah, we can. Anyone can roll.
We're all doing it.
That's an 8 total.
Could you stop?
You guys are
I'd really way rather be doing this
You're
myself.
basically asking me to, lead the way here, and we all know how that goes.
As the group of you are making your way out around the camp,
We really should have gone away that Esvus had actually scouted out before.
Yeah.
Buford is
probably.
following the expert. Like, to his credit, Buford's trying. No bully the Buford. He's just a very large man with very large armor.
And very
Shiny.
shiny
Relatively
armor.
shiny, and the sun
heavy,
is out,
loud.
and it's just like absolutely everything is not really
We need to make Buford a ghillie
not
suit.
aligned to make you
Yeah.
stealthy at all.
Yep.
So as
That'd be
you
good.
clomp up forward, coming around the corner here. Oh crap! Give me one moment. Entertain the chat party. I'm gonna take the spider out of me anymore. I'm gonna go exchange it very swiftly because I knew I forgot something for this
Oh.
session specifically.
God dang it! What horrendous, terrible beast have we stumbled upon?
We should have gone the other way. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, well,
98
we're
bottles
basically
of
going
beer
where that
on
we
the
didn't scout out, but we didn't know we
98
didn't scout
bottles
this
of
way out.
beer. Take one down.
Stop!
No,
Bad.
yeah,
Spritz
no.
a bottle.
This is, this is. Yep. I agree.
The person who scouted the camp said we should go the other way. Let's go the way he didn't suggest.
Did you actually
Oh,
suggest
did
us to
you
go
say?
the other way?
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, we should have totally done that. That would have been
really
better
should've.
to have done that.
I didn't hear. I wasn't paying attention. I just assumed it was
Like
the
in
same.
character, clearly.
Well, you know what? That's true. Actually, I was totally in character. right there.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like, let's go around to the left. Right, this is the way we're going.
Which way's left again?
No, if I'm not gonna use my meat bestiary tokens. Okay.
The hawk himself comes out of the trees.
Stop it.
As you
The
come
ritual was successful.
as you
ritual was
come around here, you
God, he's got the book in his lap and everything. What the
See-
heck did we? What is lurking up here randomly in the
see
freaking trees?
a particularly dense tangle of trees here in the corner. Not uncommon in the jungle. Lots of various things make their nests and whatnot around, but with a shrill battle cry, as you sneak around, the cry of a massive bird rings out, and black wings spread as a red vulture beast, vaguely humanoid, descends from the canopy above
Yep, we should have gone the other way.
onto the party.
That's
That
the
thing.
thing that swooped down, took a kobold, and kept flying.
And I am going to need everyone to roll me some initiative. And Resme, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to see you for a while because this is a two-carder. So,
A 2-card Oh dear God!
Oh God, I'm so not ready for this.
Everybody get a
Like, there's no
plus
fluff on those
one.
cards, right? It's
No
all
fluff,
stats and
all stats
horrible
and
things they
rules
can
and
do it to
abilities.
us.
so
This is a boss fight monster.
as he swoops down, this cry loosing from his beaked maw,
Why do you look so amused?
shrill, very
Look at
loud,
How sad Matt is.
very distinct. Matt's not sad, he's disappointed.
I'm not angry.
Hello.
He is
Good time.
about 20 feet up in the tree line here.
Tree raiser.
Give me some of these, not tree ranger. Tree ranger, everyone dies instantly.
Yeah.
Buddy, give me some initiatives.
20.
All right, Dalren,
29.
Resume,
32.
I was trying to be stealthy.
Rur,
26.
I don't like that noise.
Esvus.
38.
Well, yeah, you really don't like it. No, he was super duper doesn't like it.
Oh my God!
Ah, 32.
I
he doesn't
can't.
do you.
I can't handle the cawing.
Alrighty. Esvus, you alert are the first to react to this thing, and it is large, so it looks vaguely humanoid. It has these massive black, almost ragged, feathered wings and blood red skin. A mostly almost warped humanoid face, save for the massive beak and the long rat-like tail dangling behind it. But it's large. The thing must be 10, 11 feet tall, standing.
I do not have time for this. Hunt prey. Hunted shot. 2 arrows swiftly coming up.
And you get a hero point.
And indeed, Robbot again.
Robbot!
This has just been the mainline Esvus this session.
He's
Keep
needed
this
them.
man full.
You will definitely need this right now.
He
Good
will-
luck, and we're all counting on you.
Thank you, Robbot.
Pin it in the tree. Pin it in the tree.
First shot is a 24.
A 24 is simply going to glance off of its skin.
Okay.
It doesn't appear visibly to be thick or armored, but it just bounces off like nothing.
I'm going to spend one of the hero points that I received from Sharpur. Thank you, Sharpur.
No one has ever spent as many hero points in a session as Esvus today.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got one. Here you go.
Pretty much. It has been interesting, to say the least. That is a 30.
A 30 will strike.
All right.
No, and I get one too.
Hey, hey.
You do, in fact. Brave Sir Robin ran away.
I think he's trying to tell us
A
something.
message coming from the chat in the form of hero points here.
That is 13 points of magical piercing damage.
And there's even one for Buddy, who doesn't need more, but here we are for making an animal just kind of give up from Ghost of the Sun.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much.
You have instilled your will upon nature. He takes 13 points of piercing damage.
I'm going to take cover and get a free stealth.
All right.
So that'll be not bad. 22.
The 22, as he turns his head towards you as you fire and you duck away, you don't feel you've lost him. Which is quickly confirmed as he swoops down upon the group here and is going to be flying up above you here, about 15 feet off the ground above the middle of the group. And as he comes down, this cawing, this shrill noise explodes out of him with an ear-rattling shriek.
Should have brought the tree sap.
As his arms kind of even flash outward, his entire body contorting a bit to force as much air out of his lungs as he can. I need a fortitude save from everybody.
Okay, that's a nat one, so we're gonna need to use a hero point here.
Okay.
Destronets is going to,
Yeah.
by the
Collecting.
by the grace of Destronets, we're going to do the same thing.
It's made a 1, Dalrin to 2.
I knew I
There we
saved
go.
that purple dice for a rainy day.
Literally.
All right, so for the purposes of convenience, did anybody get an 18 or worse?
Nope.
Nope.
Did anybody get a 27 or worse?
Nope.
Nope.
Sure.
I got
No.
33 crit.
I,
Also,
So-
like nat 20.
oh, nice.
Resme and Esvus, you are both stunned too
Oh my god.
by the force of this shriek, which means you will have one action next turn. And then, as he flies here, some distance up above the group of you, he is going to turn, seemingly almost in fury, towards Rur. A very directed hatred, as he swipes down at you with a, well, I guess pecks down with a beak after the shriek, almost flipping down in the air. And this is going to come down for a 27.
Regular hit.
This will strike you for 29 points of piercing damage. And additionally, you feel as he strikes you a strange, almost numbness that pierces to your very core. You're additionally going to take 3 points of evil damage.
Whoa.
I
Okay.
know what I'm doing.
Resme stunned 2 with one action.
He's up in the tree. above us, so
Resme
he's
is just
occupied.
gonna shield and pray.
No, he's literally like up above us.
Yeah,
so
he's like right
reaching.
above you, pecking nice. He's 10 feet up.
Resme's gonna shield and pray.
Pop up a quick shield. Dalren, he is in reach of you. He is 15 feet up, striking down at you. Your reach weapon can reach up to bring to bear, but he's not in melee range of anybody else.
I can fix that. Lightning's gonna charge up and he's gonna whip this geese arm up, try to dig the hook into this thing and just bodily haul it down onto the ground.
Okay, do you want to try to trip him?
That's a
Because,
trip, yes.
yeah, you can trip it in second
That is a
edition.
mechanical
Yep,
trip.
in second edition, I wasn't sure if you knew this, and it's the first time it's come up. You can attempt to trip a flying creature, and it causes them to drop. So if he successfully trips, this creature will actually fall down, and someone is going to get shunted somewhere because there's not space underneath them.
Nice.
That's a 28.
A 28 will fail.
Fail. Ah.
As you
You
get
got
up
any
and hook
halfling
and
luck
pull at him,
left?
I used it.
Used it?
he
Okay.
yanks his leg back up away from you, almost pulling the geese arm out of your hands.
All right.
It's a cool mechanic in second. Instead of trips just not doing anything to flying creatures, it brings them down.
I guess I'll flip this geese arm and just try to stab straight up at it.
Okay.
That's better. 27.
27 will glance off across his skin. That's gonna miss.
Wow.
You got one left, don't you? Oh, you raged.
I raged.
Rrr.
All right, so I've been preparing this spell for a while, and I've never gotten to use the thing that it says it does. But first, recall knowledge.
All right, so the first action.
Religion, I guess.
What's your religion modifier?
15.
This is an action because you were sneaking
Yes.
before. Okay.
Yeah,
15.
15.
You
And if that,
can. If that what?
if that's, well, I wouldn't know, so I'll just go with whatever you give me. I was gonna say I'll give you a hero point, but I wouldn't know if it failed or not. So.
Yeah, it's kind of awkward. I guess you can't really hero point secret checks because
You can.
you
it's just
can
that
you
don't
would
know what
you
you're
you
doing.
failed. You would know it failed. I will take a hero point. I guess it's a kind of weird line there. How many does that bring you to the name overlays
2.
up? 2? Okay.
And that was from Sandfox.
Try it again. Well, it was higher. This creature, as it strikes you when you feel its corruption kind of pierce through to your very core, you can tell it's very clearly demonic in nature, and it is a very powerful demon. But demon studies aren't exactly what they taught you back in the cloister.
So we're gonna hit him with Searing Light,
Okay.
and assumedly this will roll higher damage than normal. Well, see, what we're actually gonna do is a hero
You
point
can only use 1 hero point per turn.
turn.
It is a
per
fortune
turn.
effect.
Okay.
You rolled for Searing Light?
He has to make
Yeah,
an attack
it's-
roll. He's
it's
got
a
a hit.
ray.
It's a ray.
Oh, it's that one. Okay.
yeah, he's
yeah.
doing a blaster.
You have a lot of Zot evil damage. Evil things take more
Searing
damage.
light, holy blast, laser,
Yeah.
fire, righteous, golden, shimmer. Yeah, they all kind of sound very similar.
That's a 23.
With a 23, as it shoots, the creature veers away from this. The quick flap of its wings, very expressly not wanting to be touched by that.
It doesn't like to be touched.
And that would bring us to Buddy, I believe.
Well, I've got my nifty shield out, so I'm going to kind of thud it in and send out another spike out here. And hopefully a natural
nice.
20.
Oh,
Nice.
solid.
Um,
It's gonna crit, of course.
so that's
Nice.
9 plus 4 is 13 times 2 is 26.
For 26 points of damage.
And then I'm gonna run directly under it, in between Rur and Resme, and Dalren actually, and then I will raise my shield.
And as you rush underneath them, as this blast is coming out and Rur is incanting this spell, as he twists away from your searing light, he is going to lash down with a claw towards you.
Okay.
Towards Rur.
Oh, towards Rur.
And this is going to strike
Wait.
at you
No likey to Serenite.
for a 25. It was an attack of opportunity from his spell that I forgot about.
Wait, to Rur?
Yes. Before you move. It was on his turn.
Oh.
I used
Oh.
attack of opportunity. For a
Okay,
25.
Okay.
Is that a manipulate spell? I don't actually know the actions the spell
It
takes.
has a somatic components provoke.
Yeah.
25.
That's regular.
And that claw will strike you for 21 points of slashing damage and an additional 2 points of evil. And then the second talon is going to come down as well.
2 attacks
You
on a
have a 2
reaction.
strike attack of opportunity,
I do not like this guy.
which is going to hit you for a 22.
Regular.
22 hits you?
Yeah.
All right, you're cloistered. You have, like,
I have no
or
armor.
anything. That one's going to catch you for only 13 points of piercing damage, but 6 points of evil. And then you would get in with your shield up as he was.
How are you looking? Are you like nearly dead?
About to fall unconscious.
Okay, so
This thing is
instead
savaging into Rur very
yeah,
specifically.
Instead of raising my shield, I'm going to reach out to Rur, and he's going to get 24 health back, and just while evil is trying to take our good Serenite, good will also come. So 24, and then you also have +2 To your
AC for a round.
Nice.
A quick prayer to Iomadai in lieu of the shield Esvus. And at this, you would hear another shrill cry out from the other side of the camp as the vampire beast rings out an alarm across the mines.
I'm just gonna, as this just can't hear himself right now because of the stun and the throbbing in his head and his skull. Of one action, just we're made and come out, hunted shot. Action economy, kids. So 2 shots. First shot, 31.
31 will hit.
Second one, spending the last hero point.
Ooh, we in there.
Thank you, Robbot.
Hanging them out today.
Yep. It's much better, but it's not great. 25's not gonna do it.
And 25 will glance.
Okay. So the hit for 7 points of magical piercing damage.
Okay. Bit starting to build up a bit of a beating on him. So as this very largely this creature is screeching so loudly it's literally stunning you and overwhelming your emotions and your senses, cries out, and the call is echoed from the south side of the camp. You see that strange little vampiric demon thing flop up out of the trees, flying and just calling out across the camp. At the sounds of this demon fighting, the sounds of its battle, the Cinderclaws scramble in terror. They don't mobilize to ready a defense or come attack you. They are horrified. And, in fact, some even immediately start scrambling further away from the battle. They clearly very much fear this thing. As perhaps they should,
Yeah, it makes sense.
as it is going to fly, flapping down just above the group of everyone here. Down, so its talons are just inches above your heads. And as it does, it flaps with one wing and the other, kind of weirdly twisting and shaking itself like a wet dog.
Or an
And
ostrich.
Or a wet ostrich, I guess. And it is going to shake loose a thick cloud of dark green powder, shedding some kind of strange poison or essence with each one of these massive throws. And he is actually adjacent to everybody. So I'm going to need everybody to make me a fortitude save. In addition, you are all taking 12 poison damage,
Oh.
regardless
then-
of your save.
He's going to
Even
feel
with
a small glimpse of, I don't know what he would be glimpsing.
He's a literal
exactly.
demon.
So I don't know exactly what, but
Imagine
against-
not being a demon.
Imagine not being such a hooligan. To just for.
Do they have to land? This has to do damage or land?
It has to. An enemy damages your ally.
Okay, so you can give it to Rur. So Rur, you will take less than 12 poison damage.
How much?
That is -9.
And I'm gonna go ahead. Heroic Ganker is going to help me reroll that one.
Okey-dokey. And as
Slightly
this,
better. Don't think it's
he's gonna take the enfeebled, of course. But as this revelation overcomes him, he twitches a bit, and he cries out, almost in pain. And he takes 16 mental damage,
Huh.
Nice.
being forced to consider peace.
Wow. Okay.
Heh.
Demon weaknesses in second edition are super cool.
That's so
that's
cool.
really nifty, yeah.
That's so
That's really
nifty.
interesting.
very
Forcing
thematic.
him to consider peace makes him take 17 mental damage in that instant.
Wow.
So everyone took 2d8 poison damage.
Wait,
Oh yeah, how much was that? It
was that?
a total of
13?
13 was it?
I've
12.
got a,
12, I believe. 12
12?
poison damage. And then anybody who got below a 28 on your fortitude save,
Oh my god. Yeah.
there's no critical successes or failures here. It's pass or fail.
Okay.
Anybody get
Okay.
below 28?
Yeah, I got
Anybody?
it.
You got a natural 20, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
So
so
it's a 31.
the four of you,
Die.
okay, you dead instantly.
Thank you for watching, everybody.
Feel this kind of set, and you start to itch pretty severely. An itch so bad that it's near painful. And with that and one more flap of his wings, still writhing in agony from this glimpse of redemption, he is going to move back up to 15 feet above the ground and 10 feet above you.
And we feel an itch.
Yes.
Okay.
Resume.
Resume, seeing that we've been made. There's no longer.
They're not moving towards you, but they definitely know you're here.
Will attempt. I guess I'm only stunned 1 now.
No, you've stunned 2 is 2 actions. You're not stunned at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You're good.
Will attempt to slow this thing down. See if she can't. She'll yell out Temporis and attempt to cast slow on it, and he gets to make a save.
He is going to get. He's gonna get a hero point. He's gonna get a hero point.
So, a question.
Lion Tiger. An answer.
Since it's very obviously inflicting evil damage and doing evil things,
Very evil.
does that count as anathema to a good deity?
He's not lying to you about it.
Well, no, but casting evil. Like, I have a list of
The
anathemas.
existence of evil is not anathema to Saren Ray. He's
But he's like a
I mean,
naked
she
bird.
doesn't like it, but he's not like lying. He's not stealing. He's not doing anything.
Stealing's
It's like
actually not an anathema to Saren.
He's not actually doing. He's not doing anything. It's like a Serenade anathema. He is going to get a 32.
That will just.
Oh wait, so will save or fort save? Fort save, 36.
No, it's a will.
That's
I thought it was
fort
a will save.
It's a fort save.
It is a fort save.
He's gonna get a 36.
Damn it. That will critically succeed.
He's very hardy.
Well, that tells me that. And then I will throw up shield again.
All right, and you cast another spell here, and although you've seen him strike out against Rur in his moment of weakness, he doesn't seem to like care about you at all. He's very focused on Rur, now also kind of bloody. Dalren.
This thing is. You are a tough one. But this time, again, he's going to kick up, try to reach up and hook this thing and slam it down on the ground so it can stop raining these blows down on us. That's better. That's a 32.
32 will hit.
Wham!
And with that, it pulls him down to the ground. And I'm not sure if it does also knock him down immediately, or if it just puts him on the floor.
Can he land on his feet?
Yeah, I mean, he is down. Okay, so he's been dragged down to the ground. I imagine if he hits the ground, then he's probably knocked prone. So
Yeah, I guess he loses
Yeah.
a set amount of height, and then
right. So he would be kind of shunted, I guess, up here into a free space up above you. I guess, yeah, because he was here. So the closest free space is just up one.
Oh, okay.
So he gets brought down the middle of all of you, prone.
Okay. That's better.
You brought the thing down. The thing that has not been identified down.
This mysterious bird thing.
Strange, angry creature of anger.
And now that it's down again, he's just gonna keep hitting it, just try to ground this thing right into the ground. And that's not a lot. It's a not even a 20.
Yeah,
Bong!
Definitely not going to land, as he's still seems to be very capable and he's still very hardy.
I guess I could fish for a 20. I don't think I could frighten this thing, so let's go fish for a 20 and just try to stab it.
20.
20!
Yay!
So it's a 26 with penalties, so I think it's just a
Yeah,
normal
so
hit,
it's
right?
a 26, but then it's a natural 20, which bumps up to a critical hit.
Oh, so 26 hits.
Oh, because he's prone.
Oh,
He's prone.
26. He is prone. 26 hits him while he's prone.
Critical hit. I still
It
managed
did
to
matter.
make it.
So you just barely eke out a crit here on the back.
I'll take it. 20, 40 lightning damage.
You feel as if he is pretty resistant to electricity.
Okay.
However, a good amount of that.
I just need to throw a lot of electricity at
A
it.
good amount of that certainly gets through, but his demonic biology does not conduct very well. He's quite resistant. Rur.
Ow. I'm gonna 5-foot step away
All right.
to behind Buddy, and I'm gonna slap myself with one of those nice fancy
And
heels.
as you do, his beak just lashes out from the ground around towards you. He's really dialed in on you specifically.
Oh, and he has 10-foot reach.
He does have 10-foot reach. You have lesser cover, He
And a
is
plus
prone.
2.
He's enfeebled. You have +2 AC from lay on hands.
That's a lot.
So
of
you've
things.
never ever had a better chance.
I don't. I've only got a
a
22.
+3. He has a -4.
23.
It's gonna be a 29.
Yeah, so that hits. Does that make me lose the spell, or does it have to be a crit?
It has to be a crit.
Has
to
to be a
disrupt.
crit to disrupt the spell.
Okay, so depending on the roll, we'll see.
So he is going to strike you for an additional another 17 points of piercing damage and 5 more points of evil.
I go unconscious.
And with that strike, he brings Rur down. I guess you just stay here in initiative, because normally you'd go in front of them, but the point of that is to give your party a whole turn to get to you, so I guess your initiative doesn't change. Buford.
Okay, well, I am going to turn my back on this creature and reach down and try and patch up Rur enough that he's...
You can just make a first aid check. It's 2 actions to stabilize him.
Okay.
I have a bandolier with a medicine kit on it, if that
Okay.
helps.
Oh, yeah, Buford does not have a ventilator.
I do not have a ventilator.
So you could, as 1 action, grab his medicine kit, and then as the other 2 actions, immediately try
Okay,
to ensure
yeah.
he's not dying.
Okay.
The thing seems furious that you turn your back on it.
Well, yeah, too bad, man. So that is a 24.
Yeah, 24 succeeds. So
Alright, what does that do?
stabilizes you would mean you are now wounded 1.
Okay.
And Esvus.
Okay. I am going to back up away from this thing. Full movement, if I can. Try to get 30. And then I am going to... Are you going to behave?
If we need, this is technically the edge of the map, but I mean we can just use gray space if you want more space here.
Okay. I'm going to hunted shot. Take two swipes at it.
He's prone.
First shot is a 27, not including his prone.
Yeah, the prone's on him. A 27 is going to hit. Before you roll another one, Robbot, nobody should have 0 points.
Thank you, thank you, Robbot.
Getting pumped today.
I know. To be fair, my dice have not been behaving.
The rerolls have.
The rerolls
the
have,
rerolls
yes.
have been good.
27 will hit him while he's prone.
Okay, so 27, and then second shot, because this is all for the purposes of resistances, a 30.
30 will sort of hit him.
All right. Okay. All right, that's not bad at all. 23 points from those 2 arrows going into him.
Right, with that, he's been hit quite a few times now. Arrows starting to actually finally stick into him. He's bloodied and pretty well injured. Very dark, almost black blood oozing out from multiple wounds. And is that? Do you have an action left?
Yeah.
You have 1 action left, actually.
I'm going to take one more shot at him.
He looks pretty hurt. He's not like on death's door or anything, but he's definitely
Right.
starting to look hurt.
I'm fishing for 20s, baby.
Fishing for 20s.
Do
You never
it.
know.
20.
No, 21. Doesn't hurt.
Yeah, 21's gonna get nothing.
You can't roll a 21 on a
Figure
die.
doesn't need that anymore.
As he turns, he flips himself over to be almost face down on the ground, pulls his head up, and lets you loose another one of those ear-shattering caws. I need a fortitude save for everybody.
I'm still in range?
You are in range, 30-foot burst.
Wow.
And
That's not.
you moved 30 feet. So he's
I
30 feet
specifically
away.
said I moved 30, and I was next to him.
I moved him 1 too
Oh,
far.
yeah, because on the map you had him.
Yeah, I moved him 1 too far. But he moved exactly 30.
Okay.
So,
It's just Dawn's.
33.
33,
32.
32, something,
27.
27,
Also 27.
27.
I'm unconscious.
You're unconscious. You're also stunned now. Each of you, Dalren and Resme, are going to be stunned too.
Ah, not enough.
By this
Thought
cry.
I wasn't sure if that would pass or not.
Because Enfeeble doesn't affect the DC on this. And then
I'm stunned 1 or stunned 2?
stun
Stun
2.
2.
Okay, so that was a fail. Okay.
Yeah, fail stun 2.
I'm not.
As he's
not
over
courageous.
there, still prone, he doesn't pull himself up, but he puts a hand up in front of himself, and this almost thunder crack of this cry is replaced by a growling voice.
Simolitudo.
And as he casts his spell, he spreads into 4 clone smeared images of himself as he tries to defend himself.
I know that one.
Now, As he does, everybody but Resme, this itching is really starting to turn into something dramatically more severe. It feels like your skin is on fire. Even inside your full plate or under your robes, whatever he shook off of him is just pierced through deep, and you feel an intense pain. Each of you is going to take 14 points of poison damage. And as you look down, you can see parts of your skin being forced and torn open as thick green vines start to grow out from you. Ooh.
So I am no longer stabilized,
You are no longer stabilized.
and I am dying 2.
You're dying 1. You die at 3. Is it? Do I have it backwards? Does it add to your dying value?
Wounded? Oh, I guess
I'm
technically.
wounded, so I would go to dying 2, but you die at dying 4, wounded 3.
I think technically the wounded, if you want
Oh
to read
no,
the
it is
rules-
actually. I thought it was you go. I thought wounded was you die at dying 3. It is actually. Wow, wounded's way worse than I thought it was. First of all, you do go straight to wounded 2, and anytime you would gain the dying value or increase it. So at wounded 1, the first hit is 2, the second hit is dead, because you go in steps of 2.
Wow.
With wounded on you. Wounded's dramatically worse than I thought it was.
Oh.
It adds to your dying value every time it increases. So as you stabilize him, you feel this pain. You start to see the vines growing out of him. You know that is going to that's going to be a huge problem. Resme, you can visibly see this happening to everybody around you.
We have one action.
Resme only has one
Oh,
action,
you are stunned too.
but she is desperate, so she's gonna throw out a single missile because I can still do that.
Okay. And as you do with Rur down now, he just kind of throws a clawed backhand out towards you as you cast. Still prone, still enfeebled to the end of his turn or to your turn? I believe he's not enfeebled anymore. I think he's just prone now.
I think it's. Let's see here. Sorry.
We'll see if it matters. The total is going to be. Total's only at 23, 21
No.
if you're still
He-
enfeebled.
he
so yeah,
misses.
this wild swing is going to be hopeless.
Alright.
But your one magic is going to blast out at him.
He'll take 9 damage.
Okay,
Until the end of its next turn.
that's what I thought. Dalren, you also have one action.
So just grabbing his head as this piercing shriek, vines ripping through his skin. Just kind of grit his teeth as he stares through it.
You have 2 actions to do it.
Um,
Any of you who do have these vines affecting you, you can take 2 actions to try to do
Rip them out?
something about it, like to try to like,
Yeah.
rip them or remove these things, just like you would persistent damage. But you've only got 1 action, so you can't do it.
Okay. So,
Sorry.
so I was in a moment there too. All right.
Sorry, I was
So,
burn that information,
just-
but I realized it wasn't for you specifically.
I got you. Okay. Well, I'm kind of out of the moment now, so I'll just pull a healing potion out and hold it out to Buddy.
Okay.
Use this on Roar.
I will take the potion and give it to Rur.
3d8 plus 10.
Ooh, big potion.
Well, I figured it was worth the big
You want me to
potion.
roll it? All right, 19.
So, wounded 2, you do become conscious again, cognizant of these vines spreading out through your body in this overwhelming pain. As you can hear clearly, this thing's still writhing and screaming. You got 2 actions left.
I have 2 actions left.
You're not stunned, are you?
I gave
No,
you
I
the
take
potion.
it.
Oh,
and then
take
I
it, give it. You have 1
yeah.
action left.
All right, so then I will shield up and try and kind of brace against.
Alrighty, Esvus.
For the 2 actions, can you take 2 actions for someone else?
You cannot. No, you can take the 2 for bleeding specifically. You can with a medicine check because that's why that exists. Is because you can treat bleeding on other people.
Interesting.
But 2 actions to try and deal with yourself, unless there's like a feat or something that lets you deal with other people.
Okay. I will take 2 actions and I will attempt to deal with this myself.
And so what do you do?
Let's see. I'm going to use a tincture that I saw Rur make one time when he helped me when I was coming down with something really bad, and I'm going to see if I can slug something and if I can just retch this out from my core.
Okay.
Just a violent vomit. What do I need to roll?
It is just a flat check.
It's a flat
just
check,
a DC
okay.
11. It's just a 50-50 roll.
Thank you, Robot.
Man, 8 hero points, dude.
This is amazing.
I have
They're there to be used.
all of these dice on normal rolls have consistently rolled under 4.
Wow.
You
Want one of mine?
Yeah, you say you want some different dice? We have lots of dice over here.
Speaking of 4s,
I fail, so I will just take a hunted shot at Big Boy.
Unable to kind of steady yourself and recover from this,
Yep.
you lose some arrows.
Yep. So first shot, natural 20.
Solid. That's the opener.
he's pinned.
Consolation prize.
Yeah,
He is
he's pinned
down
on the
and
ground.
he's
He's
pinned to the
pinned.
floor.
And second shot is just gonna miss. I'm just in my fury. I pull one and just knock it straight into a vital point, but the second one just falls straight out of my grip.
You get a 20 and a 1.
I got a 20 and a 2.
Oh, fair enough. The feast and famine.
Yeah. All right. So critical hit. Well, if you're gonna roll good, it might as well be now. So
Does he
Okay.
have mirrored image up?
He does have
mirror
mirror.
image.
Hey, your critical hit is a regular hit, and it also
Yeah.
removes an image. So you don't have to roll to see if you hit him, but mirror image directly negates the critical hit to a regular hit.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
you
one of the
still get a
images
hit.
pops. He's got 2 clones left, and you still guaranteed him.
Okay. So he takes 17 points of magical piercing damage.
Okie dokie. 141 points of damage on him so far. Rur, now conscious on the ground, feeling these vines ride through you.
Are they just growing out of me?
They're just growing out of your skin, and it is literally ripping your skin apart. But worse than that, they already kind of have made their way through. You feel like this is like a poison that's planted inside you that's just constantly wearing away. And speaking of the end of your turn, Esvus, you take 9 more points of poison damage.
Okay.
Like I said, you can use 2 actions to take the flat shake to try and end it like a persistent, but it actually does not end naturally. You don't get the regular flat shake at the end. I'm not even positive you're supposed to be able to take the 2 actions, but I'm giving it to you for the point of, maybe not dying.
I can treat medicine poison effects, right?
I mean, you can.
To
but
get
that would
another
just,
fortitude
that would
save?
just give you a flat check. It's not a poison. It's persistent
Okay.
damage at this point.
It's persistent damage that doesn't have the chance to end.
Well, I mean,
Wow.
that sounds an awful lot
Pretty rough.
like
You can tell that these vines writhing through you are not normal plants. They sting the same way this creature's bite and claws do. It's raw evil.
that sounds an awful lot like I'm gonna have to blast myself with a 2-action heal because I don't have a whole lot of time to think right now.
That's fair enough.
Chat is treating Esvus like the U.S. military, just pouring that money in.
I know, right?
From Coriolis Storm, like, you need some good luck. So I've had the stream deck on the Esvus hero point thing.
Thank you. Thank you, Coriolis Storm. Thank you.
So with 2 actions, you cast his heal on yourself, and he used his slap at resume. He can't come at you for this.
That is only 9 off of 4d10
Wow.
Plus a bunch.
plus 32.
41.
So yeah, it's a 41.
So as
But
you
off
heal
of the
yourself-
4d10s, that's
As you heal yourself and you turn this magical light inside you, all of the vines immediately, in seconds, wither, fade, and crumble to dust,
Nice.
leaving just the ripped holes in your skin.
it's a good thing I'm not unconscious anymore. But I don't know how long that's gonna last.
Yeah, 1 action left.
I'm gonna stand up.
Stand up.
The creature
Hi, I'm back.
is going to stand up as well, with a couple of clones of itself still in tow, almost a bit staggered now from its wounds. With a mighty flap of its wings, it's going to jump back up into the air and strike down with another peck towards Rur.
Did
This thing seems to hate the very concept of its existence.
I know the last critical hit didn't hit because of mirror image, but didn't you crit him before?
Oh, he's actually pinned. He's going to take an action to try to get away from that first,
Oh.
which is just a flat out.
Well, but it turns it into a regular hit, though, you said. So it
Well, I
denies
meant
You
before
crit him
that.
before.
You crit him
crit
before
He
that.
never stood up.
He still needs to
He
get
just
a
straight
pen.
cast mirror image. He's still stuck to the ground from the last time.
Okay.
So he's going to make It's an athletics check, right?
Yeah.
Or is
DC
it
10.
an escape? Oh, it's DC 10, yeah.
Yeah, it's flat.
Yeah, he won't have a problem with
It
it.
eats an action,
Yep.
is what it does.
Yeah.
It's
So,
a free,
really
just
nice.
eat an
He
action.
eats it, he pulls that arrow out of the ground, he stands up, and he flies back up above Buford and Rur. But that is his third action because he had to get unpinned. Resume.
Okay. At this point, Resme is fairly desperate to keep him off of Rur. So she will blink, and she will turn into a giant bat, and she's gonna go try to dig her little batty things into him.
Alrighty. And,
I think you're. I think you have enough actions to get there and attack him.
yeah. It's 2 actions to transform
right.
and then 1 to fly up to him. So you
That's
are
fine.
you're flying up next to him.
Maybe
And
it will
for-
distract him.
Buford and Doran would have taken 10 points of poison damage from
Oh,
their
right.
lines as well.
Is on our actions or?
It would have been on
his
your
action?
turns, but I forgot. This dude has so much stuff going on. I'm having a really hard time tracking everything. The
Alright,
one thing
gotcha.
I'm missing on Arkenforge is like icons. He does so many things. There's a 2-carder. Bear
It's a
with me.
2-carder. Yeah.
The
Doran.
final boss is just going to cover the whole thing.
It's just 10 cards.
So Dalrin, having like just kind of shaken his head off, given the potion, looks up, sees him up in the air, and just kind of looks at all the mirror images and just kind of shrugs and just generates lightning and blasts a line of lightning through all of them. So that's a reflex save and a giant blast of lightning.
22 on the reflex save.
That is a fail. He
Really
will take full
focused
damage.
on Rur. He seems
And-
very upset that Rur exists.
Are you using those dice to mark anything?
Yes, but you can use them anyway.
Here, I've
'cause I
got
have it
D6.
memorized.
I've got. We've got
two.
D6.
I just need 2.
Numbers.
And I think something about like area of effects actually do some bad things to mirror images.
I think it just completely ignores it. Because it hits everything. Because they're
Yeah.
all in his square. It's
but I think it
flat
actually
roll.
makes them lose images.
I don't believe it does. But
really?
feel free to look after your
I've-
turn. I'm almost positive it doesn't.
Oh, that was trash. 10, 16, 19 lightning.
19, he will resist the majority of that, taking less than half, but you will still land some damage on him and have 1 action left.
I'm gonna hook
He's not,
that
out of,
geese.
yeah, he's not out of your reach.
Yeah, I'm gonna hook that geese arm up and just try to bring him back
Give
down
him
again.
another, stupid bird!
Actually, has anyone actually tried to hit him?
He did.
Yeah,
I was shooting him a lot.
you were shooting him a lot.
He's been hit a lot. He's
Yeah.
very injured. He's taken 150 damage.
Let's knock him down again, because I don't want him starting to peck at Rur. Or try to knock him down again. I don't want to assume things with this guy. That didn't work last time. Ah, I can remember things.
Learning.
I'm learning.
All right, with a hero
Thank you,
point.
Sage Lightspeed.
Sage Lightspeed, I like that.
I know it. There we go. That's better. So it's 18, 33.
33 will pull him back.
Back down.
Slamming him back to the earth as you take 5 more points of poison damage. Buddy.
Okay, I am. Okay, this is kind of weird. Can I do kind of like a lap? A bit, run 10 feet this way and then run 10 feet back? Move?
Yes.
Okay, so
Why?
I'm going to try and just move. I'm just gonna move and look like, yes, just do a nice little move action exactly like that. And I'm going to try and get it so that I look like I'm about to go flanking. And then I'm going to kind of move back so I'm adjacent to Rur just to kind of get his attention.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, he sees you moving, and he, like, flaps a bit up out of the way in case you're trying to bring something to swing at him 15 feet in the
Yeah,
air, but he
okay.
doesn't seem bothered by it.
Okay.
Well, he's not.
He's on the
50 feet up in
ground.
air,
He's on the ground. Oh, you run around him, right. We'll still around him on the ground.
Okay.
And he doesn't seem to care that much. I believe you've not done any damage to him other than your little glimpse.
Mental damage, yeah,
doesn't-
but
he
he
doesn't-
didn't.
Not
Okay.
focused on that.
Not enough to spend his reaction on it.
Yeah.
Huh?
Okay. Okay. So then I'll
He knows what he
just
wants.
bring a hammer down. Hammer time. With almost no damage at all. That might be a hero point there. Although I don't really do much damage anyways.
Doesn't matter. Damage is
You
damage.
used to do solid damage.
I literally
I
don't
do
think that
not.
changes your
I do
overlay on
not.
the stream. It's just all 4.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so that is only a 23, 24.
23 is, it's just going to hit and kind of clank like you're just banging on stone.
And then I will raise my shield.
Okay. Esvus.
All right. This time, going to forcefully just rip vines out for a 2-action check.
Oh, well,
10
yeah,
more?
You, 6 more.
That is a 16 on the die.
So the 16, as you start to pull at these, you manage to unseat the worst of this infection, this corruption, whatever it is. There's still a decent amount of these green vines grown out all across your skin, but they're smaller, almost hair-like. Some like a dandelion, none large enough to cause you enough pain for it to really continue. So you just look like a weird, overgrown shrubbery elf right now.
I'm just imagining like ripping these vines out, pulling with blood, and just like a snatch, like what looks like a demonic seed out or something like that.
Nice.
Pretty much.
Just I am sick of this! And just 2 shots, hunted shot.
He's prone again.
About to be pinned again.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
First roll.
He can't be pinned again.
If
Still
he
has
crit
mirror
twice.
images. There's
Oh, yeah,
the
to
other
get
2
both,
images, yeah.
I thought
I'm
I
going
only
to spend a
had
hero point for that 5 on the die.
Hey, here.
one. Yeah, roll a
This is a good one.
Hey, this one rolls really high all the
Yeah.
time. Do you want it?
All right.
Can you like give us like maybe some extra tokens that we can put around him so we can track how many mirror images he has? Because we keep forgetting he has those.
Yeah, you can use these
Or
other
it just
these
could
other
be
little
you,
stands, I
I'm
suppose.
sorry.
he has 2 left.
He's got 2 left right now. 'Cause he has 4 initially.
First shot misses.
What is it though?
25.
25 shatters a mirror image.
Oh, that's right.
A miss still pops an image.
That's right.
Unless you
Okay.
critically fail.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, and then second arrow.
Images.
Is a 20.
20 pops the last image.
Yeah.
So with your rain of fire here, it's left with just this one vulture demon on the ground. Yeah, it's the one thing I really, my great request from Arcane Forge. I really like those little indicators, the status indicators like Roll20 has.
And that's the end of my turn.
All right. Rur.
Power Ranger.
Yeah, you're not taking any more vine damage, so you're good.
I'm going to stare this demon down in the face. And I'm going to cast
Oh, yeah,
Crisis
these
of
things.
Faith.
Ooh, boy.
Take the swing.
Yeah, he's swinging. He's gonna peck out at you. He's prone at a -2, so he's only gonna peck for 34.
He actually managed to crit me finally.
And he will feel a wall of good trying to like
More mental
trying to
damage.
dissuade him.
He's gonna push through it, but he absolutely is gonna take a bunch more mental damage. Holy crap!
Okay.
Because he takes 19 more.
Wow.
points of damage.
Ah,
I think he's done more damage to
throw
himself
out my
than we
hammer
have.
and just like
But he is going to critically hit you for 8, 12, 15, 24, 48 points of piercing damage.
Resistance from.
The enfeebled.
9.
39 points of piercing damage.
That may not put you down.
It didn't put me down in the
didn't.
first place. I healed myself.
Oh,
yeah.
good, thank God.
He's healed
So
it more
he
than
hit
that.
me for 42 and then minus.
He
what?
hit you
Nine.
for
Minus 9.
39.
39.
39.
After resistance.
After resistance, he hit you for 39. So you're for 48.
Okay.
What are
so
you at?
21.
Okay. Alright, you're good. Because he also hits you for 10 evil.
Yeah.
I was like, are we in the danger range of the evil die might put you down? Because you're wounded too, so you just die if this kills you.
And then.
It did disrupt your spell though because he crit.
Yeah. And then I
He doesn't
will
want to have a crisis.
just go on ahead and move
Oh, smart man.
back over to here.
Like behind this flapping bat that's now flying a little bit above him.
He wasn't going to let me get away one way or another, so I figured why not just try and hit him with the spell.
On the ground, he is going to call out again, letting loose another ear-shattering screech. Fortitude saves.
Oh, thank God.
Hey, that's probably gonna do it.
I know.
Probably gonna do it.
Okay.
Stunned.
What'd you get?
18.
You are stunned 3. Esvus,
27.
you are stunned 2.
34.
You're good.
28.
Where's they?
30.
You're good. And then he pulls
You can't
him.
2-action pout. You're down 2 actions.
Oh, you're right.
He
Jeez.
stands up from the ground, one eye almost bulging out of his head. You can actually see blood leaking out from around his eyelids, just from the sheer amount of pain he's in from your glimpses of redemption here. And he is going to grab you, Buford, because he is very upsetty. He's not even draining athletics. Nah, he's
Don't worry, I have 2 crises of fate
still
ready.
Little,
No, he pulled out. I didn't crit
little
him.
bird hand is like.
We'll stop from setting up anyway. We'll just stop from moving. He's like, he's got tiny little bird hands. And he's gonna peck you enfeebled for a 23.
And I am going to. My shield is 30, and it just kind of twangs off. Exactly then.
Resume.
So this
You're
very
bad.
large bat is going to fly into his bleeding eyes and shove his fangs directly into both of them.
Okay. Angrily biting. Give me that attack.
Let's see, plus 16.
Get some people card back so I forget.
That's going to be a 30.
30's gonna hit.
2d8 plus 5.
Nice.
Uh,
So 9.
9 points.
Okay. So he is, at this point, as Resume flies up and just, you see this big back just latch onto his face, biting down. Kind of writhing a bit. You got 1 action left.
I am going to, my wings are agile. So she's going to take and just go,
You latch onto his face and just literally flailing. Like, this bat is just attached to his head and going nuts.
the name is Batty.
Keep it in thing.
Try that again.
Hey,
Okay.
1 minus 4 because of agile.
So that's going to be a,
That's a 14 plus
So plus
that
12.
is.
it's 30 again.
30 hits him.
Nice.
And so your 2d6 for that thing.
Time to bludgeon.
Bonk.
Hey,
There
very
we
nice.
go.
Plus 5 on that.
So that's going to be 15 damage. 15 bludgeoning damage.
You actually kill him.
Resume gets the melee kill.
I'm Batman.
I am not supposed to be the tank.
As you fly into this thing's face, biting on it to its injured, like just biting directly into its eyes and just smacking away with your wings. The amount of damage that's hit this finally seems to overwhelm this massive demon. As he does finally fall down to the ground, what do you do to him? What are you doing to him?
There's still persistent damage on everyone.
There is. I guess this is what's relevant here.
So as the claws on her wings finish into his eyes, she'll actually take his eyes into her mouth and swallow them.
All right.
Are you serious? No.
What?
And Dalren, as you're stunned and incapable of helping yourself right now, as these vines continue to lash at you, you can take 3 points of poison damage. And Buddy,
I'm going to take one of my stouter whiskeys here and just pour it and try and burn off some of these plants because that's clearly the best way to kill a
you
plant.
ever you strike me as the kind of man, you of the Iomedaean farmer faith, who might bless his whiskey to make it taste better.
That's of course.
You pour this what's totally holy water over yourself.
That's
vines-
the kind of whiskey we drink around
It's actually
here.
going to seem to kill the vines on contact instantly.
That's what I thought
causing
would
them
happen.
to die and wither,
And I'd be like,
just
Thanks,
disintegrating
Iomedae,
like a
and drink the
powder
rest of it.
off of your body. Now, there isn't much any of you can do to help Dalren, really.
But I can help myself.
You can help yourself.
And so he's going to channel this energy. He's used to using Shake It Off to burn out whatever is ailing him. So this time he sees that they're vines. And so when lightning strikes a tree, the sap inside boils and makes it explode. So he's going to channel
The thing
lightning
you're
through
doing
this
doesn't
thing.
sound like it's good for you.
It's not.
Okay.
And he's just going to
The
make these
vines are
things
worse.
blow up and explode out of his skin.
Fair enough. And I'm actually false. Rur,
I was stunned, so he would still
you're
have
stunned
this.
3, yeah, right. You actually didn't get this turn, so
Yeah.
he's reeling in the distance.
If this fails, then I'll be able to fix it, but...
You've already determined that you're heal.
Nope. Definitely
18.
got it.
I blow those things
With
out of
that,
my body.
You would literally, with like pops like boils some of the larger of these vines. These little demonic spores just literally erupt bloodily out of Dalren's body as you kind of stagger here.
Is this like the
angry.
Matrix when
A
all
bit.
the things pop off of him?
I
Leaving
guess something like that. I'm imagining just like they're actually exploding out of my
Fair,
skin,
fair.
probably
Leaving
taking a bit of
some.
skin with it.
leaving some. You and Esvus still visibly have these growths kind of all over your body. Rur's magic and Buddy's holy water have pretty much removed theirs entirely from where it's been applied. Your magic clearing you completely, and you, wherever you would have dumped this, they'd be gone. But there'd still be probably some under your armor and on you, but they're harmless at this point. They're not small enough to actually hurt you. And as this fight kind of concludes here, you see on the other side of the area, on the southeast, some of those Chiruka and those Boggards just kind of, they'd looked over this way, but they're huddled around the far side of the fire now. They've moved away from the sound of this, and the vampire creature that he called out, that you'd seen before, that you fought the one totem, the weird bat-like humanoid, is just kind of standing there next to the fire, looking down at the Chiruka, and one of the Chiruka is literally shooing it away.
Huh. I have an idea.
Waving my wing at it.
I'm going to take that +1 striking longsword. I'm going to take this thing's head off,
All right,
and I'm going to take the head with me.
fair enough.
It'll come in handy later.
But it seems that even fighting this screaming demon up in the corner of the camp hasn't really raised the alarm.
Wow.
Huh.
We're gonna sit down and take a very long breather while I heal all of my various broken body parts.
That sounds reasonable.
And we as well are going to take a bit of a breather here as we leave the rest of this mine assault for next week. It's a good start. We've fought two things we didn't know were there and have made technically zero progress towards our actual plan to
Hey.
deal with the things that we saw.
Dinosaur,
Dinosaur is
secured.
He does appear to be able to just break the walls of the cage, but,
And-
well,
And one
but they can't open it.
They can't
so
open it.
They can't unleash him.
As long as we don't bother him,
Yeah.
I
That's
think
true.
we'll be okay.
He has to be mad enough to get out of the cage on his own. They can't unleash him anymore.
I ate demon eyeballs.
You ate demon eyeballs.
Level up.
You
Or
no.
just indigestion, one or the
Yeah,
other.
Whatever.
probably just gonna have a really bad day, honestly.
Probably
Bummer.
just going to be evil.
But
No, wait, eating an angel flesh made you evil. Eating demon,
Demon flesh
would make
makes you good.
I'm sure that's how it works.
I
Yeah.
hate that logic, but I can't argue with it. I don't like how we got here, but I can't argue with the
Pathfinder 2nd
results.
Edition clearly implies that this is the case.
So, chat, everyone, this mine may be possibly a more difficult fortress to assault than we had anticipated.
Maybe we should have just
as-
walked in and just started kicking Cinderclaws.
Yeah, we should
That should have just been the
walked
way we do
straight
it.
into the middle. I mean, it would have been way
I
better.
literally think you would have had less trouble just walking in the front door and just starting to kick Cinderclaws in the teeth. I actually think it would have gone better. But hey, we live and we learn. And
No, we don't.
with some serious concern and near-death experience, we have slain a truly powerful demon. Thank you for hanging out, everyone. Thank you for being here. Appreciate all of your supports. I have another campaign that runs on Mondays. It starts 2 hours after this one did, so 2 hours ago, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific, over at twitch.tv/Squiddish. Squiddish being this, like it's spelled in the chat there. It's that channel. We're playing the other second edition campaign with Extinction Curse, and we are also fairly early into chapter 2 of that one as well. So if you want to see a much less serious party literally clown at a bunch of weird things, that's happening. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next week. Good night, everybody. We did good. No one died.
Yet.